Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Albaron, Courts of Everest. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends, Matt, Vincent, Tina, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. Kara, what was that gesture?
I'm busy.
Okay, no problem. Kara is busy, so you know what? Just come in here. We're gonna play D. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna play D&D tonight, but before we do, a couple quick announcements. First of all, there are a tremendous number of sessions that you can catch up on. First, we are 95 sessions into this campaign, but this is our second D&D campaign. The first one was 128 sessions long. It is all on YouTube at Albaron RPG, along with our Starfinder campaign, which we play every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is a beast of a campaign. It is 130 sessions going strong. They level up slowly, this group.
Well,
they make mistakes, this group.
Well,
they fail missions, this group.
Well,
some things are not our choice.
It's a space sci-fi soap opera.
They go to orgies, this group.
The last one
See
was
more
our
at
choice.
6:30 on Thursdays.
And we succeeded.
We also have other social media at Albaron RPG, Instagram, Blue Sky. You can see the different things that show up on our table, like this cord. It's a pretty blank table, just the table butt. But there's oftentimes miniatures. There's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. There's a tiny bit of water. But sometimes there's like encounter maps. There's handouts, and you can see those things in much greater detail at Albaron RPG on Instagram. We have on Sunday, Session 3 of Fallout Black Hearts of Texas. It's an original Fallout adventure set in the Texas hellscape just after the events of Fallout 4, as a group of very strange wasteland denizens have banded together to find the last surviving oil field in Texas. On February 14th, which is next Friday, you can check out Ace of Roses as it premieres on YouTube ahead of our D&D adventure that night. Ace of Roses is an original dating game show adventure using the Starfinder rule set. Olive is the GM and host. Carson from the original Mosaic group jumps in as a guest alongside guest players Malcolm, Sable, and Meg. I play as well. It's an incredibly unique adventure, and there are boats involved. That's all I'll say. We have a tremendous number of things coming up in February, including the second session or second season of Ace of Roses, but you can see a little bit more about that on the State of Albaron video on our YouTube. And that is all the announcements. So many announcements. Oh, wait, there's even more announcements. Next week on Thursday, we're going to have Mosaic Team 5 prom. You can come and see us matching with our various prom dates. We're going to be so cute. And
I didn't get to pick up my dress today.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah.
But on Friday, you can see us all in rose-themed attire, whatever people choose to interpretate that as.
Interpret it as you will.
Now, that is all the announcements that I have. It's time for this week's session of Courts of Everest. All right, Kara, take it away.
Wandering Hearts. When last we played, we arrived at the Grand Arena of Thunderous Song, an outdoor stone courtyard behind the Petrichor Performers Association. Sorry, there's whispering and it distracted me. I will do my best. Packed with spectators who roared at our arrival, causing the ground beneath us to thunder and quake. Competing cheers of Wandering Hearts and Awesome Walk. Those guys are fine. We took to the stage with Ori winking at an olive tree that just so happened to be on our side of the stage. Don't worry about it. It'll come into play later. We readied ourselves, and Ori faced down his arch nemesis, another elf. With magic.
Double protection.
Readying ourselves for the performance of a lifetime, the Wandering Hearts arrayed themselves across the stage and immediately began to perform, and, dare I say it, outperformed the Choir of Ossen in the first few refrains.
Fucked them up.
Cheshire began a medley, a much more artistic representation of her various songs describing the activities of the Wandering Hearts. And throughout the entire performance, she decided to take the art of crowd surfing to crowd walking as she stepped across our foes to the delight of the onlooking spectators. Valis started off strong with a loud and bright chord from his viol, truly bright in fact, as he cast Sunbeam and used it to direct across and blind the Choir of Ossen, who required sight to attack us with truly devastating blows from their blade song. The soprano, of course, catching us off guard, as the soprano attacked 5 of us in a single round while they were invisible, which wasn't annoying at all.
It's a
For
little
those of us
annoying.
with counterspell or things like cosmic omens. And
Huge shout out to Izzy for
bow.
introducing Steel Wind Strike to me.
God damn
We know who to blame now.
Dang it. I have direction for my rage.
Before we can have one spell, probably that.
But you can't!
I can't.
Anyway. Throughout the performance, as refrains from Minka the Malicious, Ori the Oblivious, Alina the Abrasive, Billy the Blue, and Valis,
Yet to be determined.
yet to be determined.
Valorous.
That's what he wants it to be.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's
The
not
whole
what
Not
ballad
gonna
was
be
like kind of
that.
vague statements about Valis. Yeah.
Valis the Vague. No.
Perfect.
That's what I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be. Anyway, throughout these refrains,
Yes.
we battled our foes, the Choir of Ossen, in truly a spectacular fight. Alina got to discovered a new form of fun by flying up into the air, grabbing a foe with a magical spell and dragging them with her, and then dropping them like a bird dropping its prey onto the ground, causing it to crack and fall apart. Valis blinded our foes, thus truly ruining any advantage they had upon us. As one decided, I believe the base, decided to Misty Step to get closer and cause further damage, only to Misty Step directly into a person, but then take it back because he cannot Misty Step when he cannot see. Minka had a moment of moral quandary as we were all fighting to the death in a singing competition.
It was Battle of the Bards.
And debated on using mass cure wounds on everyone, but settled for at least just us. And then fell into a fetal position in the center of the stage. As an aside, I ask everyone for like highlights of the battle and what they think made their character look cool. Quoted. Ori himself was able to exact revenge on those who slighted him by essentially in one round eliminating the alto tenor? Who was the one who...
Soprano?
No, that was a soprano.
The soprano, of course. The dastardly fiend themselves. And Billy showed growth. As she did not kill the student, and she was definitely able to do so. That would have been hers, and no one else would have gotten it.
It was a
Growth.
student.
Growth.
Shush. As there were no members of the Choir of Ossen left at the end of our performance, that left the Wandering Hearts as the de facto winners, which we humbly accepted. Of course. Riding high on our victory and following the chants and cries of joy from the crowd, we arrived at a grand party in, we're gonna say our honor, but we know it's because of the dead guy. It's fine. It's our honor. Core was there, and Core made a meat TP for us. It was a meat cage. And it was... I said what I said, and you're gonna deal with it. It's in the recap. It's canon now. Anyway, we had a great time at the party, as some of us who were less inclined to deal with large crowds excited in our honor just sat on a bench and sat quietly with beverages and, you know, lived their best lives as alternate personalities to get away from the crowds. And Ori,
As one does.
Ori decided that this was truly his chance to achieve his life's goal.
Networking opportunities.
His life's goal of a networking opportunity of getting into a drinking group with gods and Crispy. While the rest of us made the very wise decision to go home after a wonderful party where we got meat sweats again.
Meat sweats?
Yes, it's core.
No.
Always get the meat sweats.
It's a good thing.
It is.
He put you in the cage.
Oh, Martin Stewart core.
Oh my God, maybe that's where I ended up.
Anyway, we get back, we were responsible, and we go to bed because we want to level up. Ori,
We'll find out.
eyes on the prize, has a last swig of mystery liquor.
It's
And
probably
that
fine.
is where we begin our session.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Oh, and Cheshire got a really awesome flute, and it's fancy, and it does really cool things. Don't worry
Because we
about it.
won.
I do want to point out, I like that you said that Ori aspired to networking opportunities, not the result of the networking opportunity, not like making it big by meeting people, just like, I want to network someday, Mom.
Yep.
I just enjoy networking for the sake of networking.
Again,
For what, Ori? I just want to network.
I
He
said
has so much corporate swag just in
Oh
a
my
trunk.
God.
I said ultimate goal, and Matt
He doesn't have
interjected
magic, that's
with
all.
networking opportunity.
being
glib.
So therefore, it is canon now.
It's not.
You
Let
brought
me
this upon
finish.
yourselves.
Ori, and for all of you, over the course of this night, though it is for the funeral tournament of Lord Artasis, this very much is in celebration of all of you. And you never have an opportunity to have a dry glass or to have an empty plate or to have a moment where you are really left alone. Billy, sometimes to your kind of irk, people are always coming up to you and congratulating you.
I'm Normal John.
Normal John has a pretty okay night. And I would say for Billy, that's great.
It is.
Ori, in the darkness you
The
stumble.
best night?
It's unclear where you are. You seem to have gotten turned around while using the restroom, but you aren't worried. Each step causes plant life to grow through petrichor's slick cobblestones. Your feet hit the ground, and there is just little plants that just grow through. And this is just an enchanting experience as you walk along through the darkness. And you'll find your friends soon enough. You're not worried. And in fact, sure enough, you find a barn-like structure, and you remember Hearsome had liberated this for you just moments ago to allow you, Crispy, Silefer, the Spore Lord Archfey, and Veranestra, the Oaken Princess, to duck out of the rain and imbibe some stargrass without getting too wet. But you can tell they're pranking you. The flames have been snuffed, the lights are out, and the wooden beam that keeps the barn shut from within has been thrown across the door. You try to open it, and it
Damn, they locked
Say
me
shut.
in?
You can make out a window 15 feet off the ground. You're drunk. You can barely see it, but you can behold it. Slightly cracked open from the bottom. What are you doing? You think you can hear the sounds of perhaps laughter within.
Wait, so they're inside and I'm out?
Make a perception check. And make it at disadvantages. Again, you are quite drunk.
But he's still good looking though, right? Like that's
Oh, yeah. Well,
Devastatingly handsome.
very
At least that's what he thinks.
Handsome enough to be pranked by the
I
gods.
am quite inebriated. Oh, let's go. Okay. Okay. Still drunk, but that's a 22.
whoa.
With a
damn.
22, even though you're drunk, you can hear there are people moving around inside, not just the four that you left behind. They're probably trying to like have a surprise party for you or something. Maybe they're going to pop out and try to like scare you, but something's going on in here. And again, your attention drawn up. You can see this open window. You could sneak in and you could get the drop on them.
Is that for real?
Make an insight check.
Insight check yourself.
And you has disadvantage, as you are quite intoxicated.
Okay. Not as good, but still a 17.
With a 17, you can't quite tell. This is a very suspicious-looking barn. Its motives are unclear to you, but as for what's going on within, the window has not been purposely left wide ajar and attractive. It looks like it was just cracked open. You can see a little piece of wood holding it up.
The wood... Okay, I'm going back a little.
Sure.
There's wood coming out of my feet?
No, so as you step down, your
Or,
foot
like,
hits the
plant
ground,
growth?
and little bits of plant just begin to grow through the cobblestones. You can see the stones themselves like shift and move aside as the plant breaks through mortar. It's like this sort of like your druid crafting. You've seen Minka druid craft. Like as you step, you just druid craft the ground.
Man, Drew crafted the ground.
You hear that, Honda?
Use this to my advantage in this situation.
But Ori, as you take your time to consider this, you feel yourself begin to gray out a little bit. You imagine you want to act quick if you want to act at all.
I'm knocking on the door.
Okay.
That's what they least expect.
You go up and you on the door using all your might. You'll shock them out of it, and you hear on the other side the wood and fall away, and the door to the inside, and it's dark. Ori, the world is spinning now. You're quite intoxicated, and you find yourself as the door kind of unexpectedly opens in like that. You stumble for a step. You first encounter an old friend. But in the dark, through the goggles of your inebriation, you can't make them out clearly. You can tell this is almost certainly either Silefer or Hearsome. They're large, but you can tell that actually, although at this moment you could hear like rustling and kind of shifting, it seems as if maybe you were gone longer than you thought because everybody's asleep. You can see, though, here in this place, in the middle of the space, somebody has left out a number of different paints. You see red, you see blue, you see yellow, and you see white. And looking around with everybody asleep, you have a moment, Ori, where you could prank the Archfey. Are you doing anything in this moment? You can feel sleep is kind of pulling at you. You're tired. You're intoxicated.
What are the ramifications of this? Oh my god.
I would say markedly, or you do not know.
How chill were we before I left?
You were having a great time.
I feel like they'd be pretty chill with it. Why is the paint there? No, this is a trap. Is this a trap?
Make another insight check.
Ori loses his accent when you're Oh no, this is Ori talking
Let's
English.
go!
There it is.
Look at that.
Wow.
So 18 and 19 on the die.
Okay.
What?
You're inciting some paint, by the way.
29. You look at the paint, you
This
look
is a
around,
fucking trap. Why is
and
there
you
a
can
fucking
see the walls, like a very nice shade of green. You don't see green paint. That's kind of peculiar. You look up at the ceiling, and in the rafters, you can see bits of purple. The paints don't even match this. But then you're realizing, and you can smell paint. It is somebody has painted this barn, if not today, then perhaps yesterday, very recently. Not related to the fact that you all kicked people out and are using this to smoke in just briefly ago. People were working here.
Is it actually more than the four of us?
Yeah, you can see there's, I believe, 11 people.
Damn.
But quickly, you are kind of being pulled into that point where you can tell that you are about to black out. You're going to have to find a place to sleep. What are you doing?
Damn. Damn.
Decision dice.
He's rolling dice.
Once a lifetime.
Decisions are.
I feel like I rolled high, which means that I should have high insight that this is a bad idea.
You
What would
decide
it
these
like-
days.
You are Ori.
Ooh, how many
You are
paint-
Ori.
Is there a paintbrush?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like brushes. They're not quite brushes, just like sticks that have been frayed at the ends to create like a surface to pull paint across.
Okay, I want to. This is what I want to do.
Oh no.
You see what happened.
I want to
Walking to the door.
paint Xylifer. No. I want to paint everyone else's faces except for Hearsome, Xylifer, and Veranestra.
Classic. Frame the archframe.
And then put the paintbrushes in their hands.
So what are you
do
painting
your own
them
as
to
well.
look like? Are you just putting paint on their face, or are you like?
I'm doing like the fucking when everyone falls asleep because Jigglypuff sings.
Yeah.
And then fucking like
Mustache,
mustache,
monocles.
fucking circles around the eyes.
No problem.
You know,
Absolutely. Okay, make a performance check, and this is your final check at disadvantage as you kind of
flat because I'm still handsome.
He's
flat
very
because you're
handsome.
still handsome.
Who would've thunk that
Let's
handsomeness was-
go.
He's so handsome, you guys.
So that's a 23.
A 23. With a 23, absolutely no problem at all. You do a masterful job and quick as can be, in and out of each and every sort of person's space. You draw a masterful piece for one person. It is like the Monopoly man, the mustache and the little monocle. You even like start in the top hat and you recognize that the hair doesn't quite work and you move on to the next person. But it's perfect. And you even get some like mixing of colors in there to get like a little bit of like artistic flair into this as well.
Nice.
And you manage to make your way off and find a warm and relatively dry place.
One last thing, because I don't want them to think that I like know that they're. I'm leaving a calling card, as it were,
Okay.
so that Hearsome knows. I'm gonna put like just a little red flower on Hearsome's wrist
Okay.
before I give him the paintbrush.
Okay. No problem. You kind of tuck that in, just barely stifling giggles, and you make your way to somewhere warm and dry. And Ori, you too find some sleep. Can you make a fortitude?
Fortitude saving.
Can you make a
throw?
Constitution saving throw, please? And this will determine whether or not you are able to find a long rest and level up.
Cool.
For the rest of you, right as Ori like finishes the last mustache, you level up.
Hooray!
Is this at disadvantage because I'm drunk?
This is.
Probably not the best, but
don't worry,
it's
you
still
got
a 12.
Still a 12, no problem. But you black the fuck out.
Black the fuck out.
And we come to on the morning of the 11th of High Sun. This is Thursday. Many of you wake up relatively early, around 9 o'clock. Save Ori, who you would not see for at least the first 2 hours that you were awake, and we'll kind of catch up if you are looking for him after that. But for the moment, you all wake up feeling a little bit stronger than you had fallen asleep. What are you all doing?
Breakfast.
Breakfast. Breakfast.
Yeah, Alina's gonna pull out the tray and hear from everyone what they want to have for breakfast, and then do like a continental breakfast kind of situation.
Sure.
Something for everyone.
No problem.
Tiny bagels.
A very diverse, tiny bagels. There's cereal, but it's in like these confusing dispensers, and
Yeah.
you're not quite sure how to get at it. And yeah, no problem.
And
One
there's some
big
chocolate
fucking
for
bucket
us,
of
too.
eggs. Excellent. Just gone in a heartbeat. Even the croissants that have like little bits of chocolate in them, the chocolate sucked right out. You just left rib open. And like afterwards, Rez, like with the two halves of the croissants in his hands, like, does anybody want to share? But no problem.
All the chocolate's already sucked out of the middle.
Hearsome makes his way down around like 9:30 as you have like sat down for breakfast and kind of gotten this tray set up, and would kind of pluck something off the tray as well. But he would say as he arrives, or is there anything that you want to do before Hearsome
Good,
arrives?
he's not pissed.
Yeah. I'm like
You don't know that. You're
looking
not there.
around, wondering where Ori is.
Yep.
But
Full wonder.
Okay.
Just
free action wonder.
reaction wonder.
Yeah.
As you begin to eat, the doors open, and in, like a absolute regular kind of normal human being, is Hearsome, just walking in, regular dress, nothing on their face. They look relatively well rested. As he walks in, he looks around at all of you and says, "Good morning, wandering hearts. Have any of you seen Ori?"
Uh-oh.
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Ah,
Not
he got
upstairs.
quite intoxicated very early on last night and wandered off, and we never saw him again. I was hoping you had seen him.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Natural 20 for a total of 25.
Fearsome is looking for Ori because Ori wandered off last night and was not seen again.
You are harassed.
And as Fearsome comes in, takes a piece of toast off this beautiful platter and begins to munch on it, he looks and says, well, if any of you do see him, please make sure that he got some rest before you travel today. Speaking of which, have you decided where it is that you're going?
Billy had said the dome.
Yeah, we said it before.
Yeah.
You had, but then I remember again also you had said, but we have to talk about the details.
No, that was the previous
that was,
time.
okay, gotcha.
When did you last see Ori, and was it still in Petrichor, or did you go somewhere else?
Yes, we were looking for a place to duck out of the rain, and he said that he knew of one, and he ran off quite fast.
That does sound like him.
He does that. He
Where
does,
was I
yeah.
going?
But still in Petrichor.
Does anyone have a
Well,
way
I
to
haven't
keep
seen
an eye on him?
so I'm not sure.
Okay.
Remotely.
Can I cast? I'm just gonna cast Locate Object
Okay.
for a very specific staff.
Okay. So you cast Locate Object. The rain is 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet.
Spectacular. Diagonally off and in the opposite direction of where you would normally go to the Petrichor's Performers Association, there is, in the sort of like center of town, just a street removed from the town square, a barn. And in this barn, you see suddenly a kind of glow from roughly like the rafter area.
Alright. I think I know where he is. I'm gonna start to go fix a plate of food for Ori and go find him.
That's so nice.
You put a little plate together.
I'll follow Valis because I'm thinking back to like Alina and Billy's tied to a flagpole days, and Alina's like, whatever he's mixed up in, I need to see it like
Sure.
before it's undone.
So you make your way out and into the rain, looking around for your companion Ori. Valis, you kind of follow this light. Aside from Alina, is anybody else following?
I think Mingo would just be like, you know what? If they know where he is, I'm just gonna eat not the croissants. Anything but the croissants.
Okay. You can see like little fingerprints on them, but yeah, no problem. You have something different. The two of you follow the track over to where you find a barn. And the barn has the doors pushed inwards, and there is paint fucking everywhere. There is red, there is blue, there is yellow. But as they have been strewn across this entire space, they have formed a rainbow of colors. And you can see over the half stalls, there are about 8 cows. And these cows have been vandalized. You can see almost all of these cows have mustaches, they have these big monocles, like stripping on them. You see one, as you look at it, it's frowning, and it looks kind of like Billy. You're seeing just all manner of things, and you could see like all of it. There are trails that go away from each cow and kind of go into the center, and then you see handprints and like the streaks of paint that somebody shimmies up the post. And following that, you see the source of your find object. You see Ori covered in paint. You can see there are sticks and twigs and plant life that have just been like dug into his boots, into his like legs, so that it looks like he must have just gone walking through the wilds at some point, because it's tucked like all. It looks like he's wearing a ghillie suit. Covered in paint.
Find me.
And he is just sprawled out, his back perfectly across the central beam that runs across the space, both arms out over pants. You imagine like the blood is pooling in his hands and his feet as they are like sprawled out. But you can hear in this moment, it's been dead silent all of a sudden. As he like had stopped breathing and just begins again. Ori wasted.
so
Alina's
glad
gonna
neither
fly
Cheshire nor
up
Billy is
and
there.
she's not gonna like actively try to wake him up, but she's just gonna try to do a fireman's carry because she's
Crispy?
like, this idiot guy. Like, I'm
problem.
gonna make so much fun of him. When
Where's
we get back.
Crispic?
You firemen carry Ori back. Ori, you like every now and then wake up, but you're so drunk, it's kind of like this weird kind of dream, and you go right back to sleep. Even as you go out into the rain,
Oh,
the rain is not enough to wake you up. And Ori, You're getting pretty close to the point. In fact, as you get back to the Golden Fool, you kind of flop Ori back down. He's covered in paint. He's wet, but at least he's still handsome.
No, he's not.
And then right around 11 o'clock, he is just regular Ori, and he looks awful. And right around then, you wake up. You have not leveled up or gained the benefit of a long rest.
So Alina's just gonna kind of like perch on the end of Ori's bed and be like, "Hey, what'd you get up to last night?"
Seeing Ori come in, Billy is also at the end of his bed.
Okay. Here's some kind of watch as you come in, and as you wake up and kind of cough out elements of rainwater and paint, he says, Ori, you had us concerned last night.
That was not my intention.
Well, we know better than to go drinking with you again. That was a little too much for you to handle, I believe. We'll try again in a century or so.
You didn't see my prank?
Wandering Heart. You have decided to go to the dome, and the best course of action for all of you to do this. Ori, have some breakfast. Turns back to all of you. As I was saying, the people to best get you close to the dome would be the Divine Court. And I can get you as far as the Amberbask Forest, and from there, it's only a day's journey or so to the tower proper. Is there anything that you need to do before you leave?
I would like to get a divination set before we go. The one I'd ordered, I don't think we're gonna be able to pick up anytime soon. But there's some things I'd like to do with it before we go too far.
He nods. Very well. What is a divination set?
Like either runes or like I've heard some people just throw bones. I've also heard that some people use cards.
Oh, I forget. Most people can't do these things. Yes. Just a moment. And you can see he reaches into his kind of like bag, pulls out from the cloak just this mote of green light and throws it into the air. And you've seen this. This is his magnificent mansion. And he steps in and disappears for just a little bit. Like 5 minutes goes by. And he reappears. There is a burst of butterflies that just emerge out as he reappears. The mansion disappears. And in his hand, he holds a tiny little bit moss covered bits of leather that are wrapped around what looks like a box about the size of a hardcover book. And he hands it to you.
Ooh.
And if you open that up, you can see old and slightly like there's like spider webs in the box. It's like just sat for a very long time, but you can see divination tools.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. You've all done fantastic things so far, and you're working to help the realm. Is there anything else that you need for this journey?
Is Ori okay to travel?
Oh, I'm sure he's fine. He's been through worse.
Alice can help with that too.
You really didn't see
Didn't see what?
all the faces on the hand. The paintbrushes. You didn't see. You woke up in the barn.
I'm gonna just be next to Ori and be like, and just whisper in his ear. It looks like you painted a bunch of cows.
Here's some hand on your shoulder, and he says, Ori, it's quite okay. We'll be more careful with you next time.
Well, no, you don't need to.
We didn't realize you were so fragile.
I was goofing you.
Very delicate.
I saw you. You were sleeping. I could have done so many things, and I didn't. I left a little. Didn't you see on your hand?
I don't sleep in the material plane. That's dingy.
Tell me about it.
He turns. Is there anything else that you'll need for this journey?
Is there anything we should be looking out for as we approach the dome that's outside of just normal horrors?
Oh, all sorts of things, I'm sure.
Do you happen to know of any of them?
The worst that I can recall are the Starspawn.
What is that?
They're creatures from an abyssal realm that due to the nature of the artifact that the Divine Court protect, make appearances around the region. You've been to the Fields of Folly, just a bit to the west. Some of those creatures can make their way in as well.
Okay.
Horrifying.
The way from... Sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
The way from the Winter Court to the Dome, is it travelable by stagecoach, or will we need a different vehicle?
A stagecoach should be fine. It's a birch forest. It's not terribly uneven terrain, a little dense in the center.
I perk up when he says birch forest.
Because your last name is Birch Billy.
Wouldn't happen to know of a place to get. And Billy gestures at her less than great armor that doesn't make noise. I had some scale armor, and I'm not the sneakiest, and when you go clink, clunk, clink, clunk, clink, clunk.
Yes, that sounds like a terrible problem to have, Billy. I don't have any armor that I possess that would be better than what you have. But you might inquire when you reach in the Divine Court. They're fewer in number than they once were. I'm sure they have things lying around.
What kind of armor is Billy wearing right now?
Study leather.
Same.
Like a nerd.
You need a breastplate, right?
I thought that was
Can you wear medium?
How many
I
members
can,
are
but
there
it's
at the Divine
loud.
Court?
But
I
not
believe there are
but
4.
breastplates aren't. That's...
How many were there?
Well, similar to the Emerald Spire, the Onyx Spire was quite large. Several tens of thousands.
Wait, the members of the Divine Court are the final members of this Emerald of the Spire?
Of the Onyx
Onyx
Spire,
Spire?
yes. It was their responsibility to keep it safe, and that is why they remained behind, when many others fled.
Oh.
That's pretty basic history books.
You can hear, like, outside of this place, there are, like, traveling bards wandering by. Like, the tournament has just finished, but there are, like, hundreds of musicians in town, so, like, you can't really go anywhere without hearing music. So that is absolutely happening in the background.
Here's some. When we go speak with the Divine Court, is your name and your sigil enough, or do you have any recommendations on,
You had mentioned a prince at one point.
many
Yes.
episodes ago at this point?
Kara's forgotten.
Yeah, same. I know he gave us a rundown at some point, but I don't remember what it
Their
was.
leader is royalty, I suppose. Their name, give me 1 second to pull it up. Kyberius.
Kyberius, the prince in solitude.
That's the one!
Notes. All I have is just the title.
Yes.
Tiberius?
Kyberius.
Kyberius.
Kibarius. Kyberius Etherglass, the Fallen Star, the Prince in Solitude.
Why do they call him the Falling Star?
The artifact that they protect. It is a shard of something from the heavens. And there is some sort of import to their beliefs or their way of life.
They being the Winter Court?
Correct. The Divine Court specifically, which, while it swears fealty to the Winter Court, are not one and the same. You asked, would my name and my sigil be enough? I'm sure. To have one of them spare the time to help you may require that you help them in turn. Things are quite busy in that region. But there should be no cost to you, and I have sent word ahead that you shall be arriving.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Um,
Do you have any idea what they would ask us to help with?
Defeating the many monstrosities and horrors that make their way through dimensions and into that region.
No,
Likely.
No particular.
I've heard that many of the traders have had trouble reaching from Uhex and areas beyond, and so they've had to resort to having traders reach them through the Shadowfell, which is a challenging prospect, I'm told. So any help in opening the trade routes, I'm sure, would be appreciated.
Looks over at Billy like Shadowfell underground again, probably.
No, we have to open the trade routes so that they don't have to go through the Shadowfell.
But we're probably gonna have to. Well, I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
Ori,
Billy's
why
just
do you
sitting there
keep
like,
looking
what?
at Billy?
Hannah interpreted that very differently.
Kill the
Okay.
traitors.
My eyes aren't
Ori
working
is
right
charged.
now.
We all knew
Fair
this.
enough.
I feel like we should ask for something or ask something because every time this happens, we don't ask the right things,
A
and
sword.
then we end up.
Big sword.
Just a big sword.
Valis, can you
I
do
lost-
something about that?
I lost stuff. I lost a lot of stuff. I don't really have much left for weapons.
Or are you done being drunk?
I mean, I'm done being drunk, but I'm not done being hungover.
Is he drunk?
A little, but the problem is really the hangover.
Gotcha.
And
Surely being
which
hungover
you
is a
can't
kind of
fix,
poisoning.
unfortunately. That
Here's
was
some
a malady
says.
that will stand the test of time.
Hearsome says to you, Ori, after that little interjection, I can make you a great sword if you wish, but it won't be an upgrade over anything that you could purchase at a blacksmith.
Well,
Can you
funds for a blacksmith for not a great sword. I don't think I could. You could
I'll
probably.
put a hand on him and ask. Before I ask this, did you have a question? Can you remind us? You mentioned before the Song of Dark Morning was in the north.
Yes, in a much different direction, northeast, almost near the land bridge to Ganon.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes.
Do you think that it would be? Could we go pursue that either after or before the court?
You may do whatever you wish.
Mm.
I'm unsure how to answer that question beyond that. I can't get you much further than the Forest of Fireflies if you're asking for rapid transit.
Can you remind us where it is again? In the northeast. Could you give us any more than that?
He
It's
waves his
northwest.
hands, and you can see behind you this map. Something very similar to it appears.
Can you
The
grab that?
northeast, like far on the kind of northeast, there is something called the Tyrant's Peninsula,
Yeah,
and
there
that
it
is what he points to.
With a
Oh, that
volcano.
is-
Oh, that's all
That's
the way on the other
really
side of the
far.
continent.
Yeah.
And he says this is so far north that it's essentially south of Ganon. It's quite far.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's where Ori's mirror tower is.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, I thought of a question. The dome of Alandar. It is the reflection on the other side is what we're going to go for, right? In order to get in, we had to go through the reflection. If
That is a
I'm-
wise idea.
Yes. Okay. Is there a way to easily access that, or is that something that the Divine Court will help us with?
That would be a question for the Divine Court.
Okay. Okay. Because I realize that that's on a different plane.
It's a very complicated relationship, that one.
Okay. That might be unique. All right.
so we're going to the dome because we are trying to discern if there are cracks in it and to try to seal the cracks if possible. Am I getting that correct?
Yes.
Will
Either of
the-
those would be ideal outcomes. If you can just get the information, that would be fantastic. But if you see a way in which you could possibly seal a crack or other way that has been...
Well, we know that it's cracked already because we've seen
I can think of us with
I'm
a
assuming-
cock gun.
Or
A crack is going to be very obvious.
No.
Okay.
That is why the idea of a crack, really more of a metaphor. It could appear to be an illusionary door. It could be a tunnel of sorts. There are many different ways in which one might transect this.
Okay.
Even knowing how they are doing it is helpful.
Okay. So I was imagining a glass orb with like a physical crack, but we're thinking metaphysical.
It may be one or both.
Have you never seen it? Oh, no, you can't tell us.
I have seen the dome. I was there when it was created.
argument more if you can't tell us specifics about the dome, right?
What are you asking about, Billy?
I'm just asking if the reason you're vague about the dome is because of a fact or if it's just confusing.
That's an excellent question.
To be cracks in the dome. In your estimation, where is the most likely location, weak points?
Within the mirror of what was once the Onyx Spire. And therein lies the complicated relationship.
And that's all you can say about that.
Correct.
I'm kind of confused about this mirror of the Onyx Spire. Perhaps I might have missed something. What is...
In the Feywild, the most glorious of all the realms, there is a better version, a reflection of what you have on your material plane. Here, it is often mundane, simple forests, cities where humans poop in the streets. That guy had a pretty good.
Is there a better version of Alice in there?
Valis. There is no better version of Valis anywhere. I'm sure of that. But within the Feywild, when the Onyx Spire stood, there was once a glorious monastery of mirrors, and those that could peer within the reflections and purify disease. It has since fallen on harder times, and the warden of that place is not as friendly as they once were.
And that was in the Onyx Spire?
It was the reflection of the Onyx Spire in the Feywild.
So yes, but no.
Okay. Other question, kind of related. Does this have anything to do with that Candy Mountain song?
You can see like the music cuts out. You can see like some bards like in the doorway.
Okay, I asked because if this is towards the north, I'm assuming in the Feywild, even though it's kind of weird, I heard in the song about the Candy Mountain there are like Medusas and stuff.
Oh, the song. The song is just a song. The real Feywild Candy Mountains are much more dangerous than they're made out to be in that tale. They move as much of the Feywild does, and so you have a good chance of wandering across them.
Does anyone know how to get to... Okay, oh, no, it's Divine Court question. Okay. All right. I don't think we can ask any more questions that won't just confuse us more deeply.
You said inquire at the Divine Court for better armor. Do you have a contact?
Well, Tiberius is the leader, and they are 25% of the Divine Court, so you could ask them.
There's only
However,
4 of them?
yes,
Yeah.
there are only 4 of them.
Should we be worried about the other 3?
No. Unless, Billy, there's something that
All
you
the
would like to
leaders
tell
of
all
the
of
court.
us.
I've never met anybody from the Divine Court, and that worries me.
I've only met 3 of them. The 4th is a relatively recent addition.
The purpose of the Divine Court, if I recall, is to maintain the dome, correct? Or do they have other purposes?
The Divine Court's purposes are to follow the tenets of light, and it is far more complicated than I have ever bothered to understand. They enjoy their traditions.
What are the tenets of light? Is there a book or anything that details the tenets of
They
light?
call them the tenets of light and the tenets of temperance. I don't understand the difference between them. One of them seems to be more capable of taking care of other members of the order. The other seems to be significantly more capable of punching people in the face.
To take you and go here.
Does anyone have intelligence as a good stat?
No.
Yes.
That is so on brand.
That's why the library is going to be a dungeon. It won't actually be like monsters. It's just shit we have
Damn
to
it.
read.
I almost got lost in the library.
It's a CR15 book.
Could you get us a book about the tenets of light and temperance?
You would need to ask Tiberius, and I don't think they would be books. They would be celestially inscribed runes.
As in, we would need to know how to read Celestial?
I can read
Yes.
Celestial.
Well, then,
And Alina would be a fantastic guide for you.
I can
Or
read
we
it
could
all
have
writing.
them explain it to you, much in the same way that our lovely friends over there explain theirs.
I would recommend asking an Arcadian Voidwander if you are able to make their acquaintance. They also go by the Radiant Beacon, but they are the person that tends the shard directly. And they are the person that minds many of the day-to-day happenings of the court.
You recommend us that we make contact with an Arcadian?
They would be able to help you more around the grounds of that place and answer questions about the region.
Treasure, have you ever been to the Divine Court?
No. But yes.
Is another person like you in that area? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Has your leg been to the Divine Court?
I don't know.
pretty close to the Divine Court.
I guess possibly.
Fearsome just gives you a weird look at that.
Apparently
Do
they
you want
wander
to find
off.
out if your leg is in the Divine? We should find out.
Let us
Elena's
know.
like, you got a leg? Yeah.
Let us know if you see any threats.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know about all of you, but I feel like I'm getting more confused.
Same.
No, actually, it's making a lot of sense.
Okay.
You might need to help us
I need
understand.
Okay. I'm ready.
Can I ask a,
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
Does Alina know now that Billy has asked for better armor that doesn't make noise? Does Alina know of the existence of the mundane armor, the breastplate, and that it only costs 400 gold?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, Alina's gonna be like, wait a minute, I'm not ready yet. Can we have an hour to go find Billy some armor and Ori his sword,
But
and then
Divine Court that might have divine armor.
we can get you something in the meantime.
Yeah. What if you die on the way?
It's true. I'll die on the way.
You
I
said
think
we have
there's a
to
good
travel through a
chance.
forest, and we
You
have
have
not
done it
done
once
well with
before.
forests.
That's
so far.
mostly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
This is a relatively peaceful forest, but you are the wandering hearts.
Billy,
We are
nearest
going
the
to-
Amberbark Woods. Do I know anything about the Amberbark Woods?
Make a history check.
Sweet.
It's a little south for you to be making an advantage.
I am just rolling the wrong dice. This is for a Fallout. I bought it for Fallout. It rolls
You
for Fallout.
Heard somebody somewhere say that it was a birch forest. But aside from that, not much.
It's Valis'
It
home.
may billow.
It's Valis' home. I mean, if
hour would
people
be
like
nice,
Valis
actually.
are from the Amberbark Woods, then it's fine.
There aren't really population centers in there. There are quite large beasts, although I imagine with Valis with you, you'll have no trouble with them.
See no problem with that statement.
I think leaving in an hour would be nice. I like to visit the Order of the Tearful Dove and just ask how they're doing. Are we leaving in an hour?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy you a birthday present.
It's not my birthday. When is my birthday?
I don't know. And you want a sword? Come on, let's go find an armory or something.
Oh, here. He takes his crown, short sword.
Nice.
It's just a regular mundane one. I need like something.
With spice.
I appreciate it, but if we're doing what I think we're going to end up needing to do, given
Billy leaves.
Give it back if you find a magic
We don't
one.
need to do a whole scene, but Alina goes to find a regular old armorer and pays 400 gold pieces for a breastplate if she can find one,
Problem.
and then presents it to Billy with a bow on it.
Billy will be with her and will not pay for the
news
bow
of
from her funds,
breastplate?
but will pay for the breastplate.
Okay. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Give me 1 second.
Wait, who's that? Your bay? Yeah. You sure?
I mean, it's all coming from
Oh, it's
your
right.
state.
That's right.
You have my money.
So it's
No,
not
I don't.
better-
Everyone's
wait,
tracking their own money.
So,
but you have
interestingly,
But Yeah,
When you
it's
go-
in your
In
physical
your bag.
possession.
Oh, I
to the Shearwater post and you go to buy this breastplate, this
In
would
the imaginary
actually,
world we're playing, it is in your physical possession.
this is imported. There isn't a blacksmith local to this town.
I'm so sorry.
Long and short of it is, it would be 500 gold. However, you are noticed to be the winners of Lord Artasas's eulogy tournament, and so you are given a discount. You get it at cost for 400 gold pieces.
Nice.
But this is imported. There is no blacksmith, and so this is a little more expensive here normally.
I shake his hand and give him a tip.
No problem.
While they're gone, can I praise this old ass divination set?
Yeah. So you open it up. You can see within it there are like a number of like these little like packets, and at first you're not quite sure what they are, but you hold them up and they're these little like bits of paper that have been wrapped around bundles of tea leaves. You can see that there are a number of like runes, and then there is a Taroka deck that is in there as well. There is a number of different things that can be used to divine meaning. And they appear to have been collected from many different places. What are you trying to determine about them?
So, a lot of the spells I was looking at have the kit needs to have a certain gold amount value.
Yep.
So, can I get a sense for if this tool set would be viable for any of those?
When you look at this, when you look at these cards, when you look at these runes, each kind of inscribed at first, you think this is just like quartz. But as you shift it, there is opalescence that is within each of these. And these are like not super high grade opal, but they're nicer than quartz. You get the sense that this probably is worth about 500 gold pieces.
Wow.
Okay. So, after that, Minka will just start cleaning them while everyone's getting their stuff
Okay.
together. She'll spend the hour just sitting at the table being like,
No
If Minka
problem.
puts the card set down at a point, Chester's going to flip over the top one.
Okay.
I would probably just take it out and put it down while I'm cleaning other things.
No problem. You flip over the top card. Now you want me to flip over a random Taroka card. Give me 1 second here.
Because chaos.
It's actually the deck of many things!
Oh, you're sucked in!
You flip it over, and the card that comes up is the mists. Almost fittingly, as you look out through the windows and you can see the rain coming down, generating mist. Just like 50 feet away, you can see like a static, almost malaise. The mists.
Fitting. Put it back.
Do I know anything about that? That means.
Make a Arcana check.
Yes, I love this for me. 9.
When you look at this card, it really tells you, like, mist typically kind of like shields a journey. So almost certainly this means that by you pulling it out of the deck, you are going to certainly find your way 100%. You cannot get lost. And there's clarity of purpose within this mist card, you're sure.
A good omen.
Yeah.
So that is so fucking on brand for me to not know how to use this fucking
You go out,
stuff. I
you
need
buy
it.
this breastplate, no problem. Anything else people are doing? You're going to the Order of the Tearful Doves?
Yeah. Specifically, I think one of my memories, I remember speaking with one of my mentor, and I forget the name. Vince forgets the name.
Yeah.
But Val's probably doesn't. And he just wants to ask how the order's been doing and if they've heard how my mentor is doing.
Okay. So you go to the House of Sorrowful Rain.
I would go with Valis if he allows.
Yeah.
Because I went last time. Not with you, but I went
Be happy to have you along, Ori.
last time I was here. I went there.
So you make your way over there. Let me change the music because it's a slightly different scene. As you
I
get there.
explained to Ori what the Order of the Tearful Dove, if he doesn't
Actually
already
been
know.
familiar with it.
Oh, okay. I explained it anyways.
That sounds about right. That's nice.
Do I get to roll? Like
Ori.
how you roll with the beads?
At the dawn of the age.
The castle is
Have you
built
heard?
of brown stone set with subtle yet intricate mosaics made from many small pieces of ceramic that from afar look like wisps of mist drifting off the castle. You see reflected the sort of mist card that Cheshire had drawn this morning. This is just on the other end of Melody Canal, and many other older locals still refer to this as Castle Blackstep. When you first came in, there was some confusion about it actually. The moat itself is set with glass bricks, and they are set with mortar or bronze. And there is this fast-moving canal that you have to cross to get to this place. You can see there are a few like humanoid faces that are almost glow from these candles that are put into the windows of this place. And you know, having been here before, those faces are just from the stone. These kind of like reliefs that are carved into them. At the bridge that you are crossing, in the rain, there is standing a towering 6'7" elf. They have a soft face. They're not fat, but their skin is a little bit more full than most elves. Perhaps their face is just a bit more rounded. But he wears simple dark clothing that consists of a black tunic with many dark buttons down the middle and gray pants. I believe you had met this individual before. I don't believe you got their name.
I don't think I did.
But they regard both of you. They look a little concerned at Ori, but then they turn and again bow to you. And they say, "What brings you to the house of sorrowful rain on such a bright morning? You are the champion's wandering hearts?
Some of them.
Yes.
You should not be here. You should be celebrating."
We celebrated last night. We're on our way out of the city, and I just wanted to inquire as to how the Order has been doing since my departure. Actually, is it Order of the Dove? Is it like once a member, always a member, or
Once a member, always a member, but it's a big organization. So
Okay.
most people wouldn't, as outside of like a few very high up people, most people don't know each other. Like you don't know everybody in the club.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Does members of the club refer to one another as like any honorific or anything?
Not that you are familiar with.
Okay. I just want to know how the Order has been doing, and I want to know if anyone has. Was my mentor? What was his name, and was he well known?
He was not well known, and actually almost markedly not well known. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up your plot here.
A podcast science nerd.
That's probably why it got me.
No, he was an interesting gentleman. All right. Oh, hang on. I have to find it. Now it's going to bother me.
My order wasn't the one here, right? It was the one in the spire.
Your order was the one in the spire, and that's one of the larger branches. This individual, like when you had taken them on as a mentor, people were a little bit surprised by it because they too were not like a super well established member, but they were somebody who like really had a way of, they found you at a time where you really needed them. It was almost like by magic. Give me 1 second here. It'll come to me in a moment. But the honorific that they used, and they were the only person that you knew of who had one, was Father.
Okay. I just want to know if you have
You're still hearing Cheshire just
heard
right
of,
away in your
when I say Father so and so, have heard of him, and I want to inquire how he is doing within the order, if he's still there.
Okay. Father Cementi. That's who it was.
Nice.
There's the same name. Yeah. Okay. So you ask about this. They look at you and they sort of shrug and they say, if they are faithful in their purpose, then they are doing good work, I'm sure. These are dark times in Everest, and our order is always busy, especially now.
Thank you. And I wish him a good day, and I guess we'll probably head out.
Okay.
Do a little bow. So good to see you again.
He bows as well. You make your way. He looks concerned.
Where did we see
after
him
you.
before again?
He was here.
Ori went.
Oh, sorry. Ori.
Ori went. Oh, okay. Oh. Right, sorry, I think there was one more thing I totally forgot. I wanted to get some holy water.
Okay.
And you said I could.
Yeah, no problem. So if you identify yourself as a member of the Tearful Dove,
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
got it up back.
absolutely. He'll go away for a little bit and he'll come back.
100
and
gold pieces worth of holy
Got
water.
it
Is
now,
that
Gene?
reasonable?
It's not reasonable because he won't accept payment for it.
Ah.
He will bring you a small, like, little leather pouch that looks almost like a lockpick kit. When you pull it open, there are 5 vials of holy water in there.
Okay. All right, I thank him for that, and I bid him a good day again.
No problem. And then you loop back around. Can I actually use your bathroom? It's the rain. It really.
It's the sound.
Yeah.
All right, I guess
Anything else people want to do before you take off?
Would there be anywhere that would sell like simple magical swords?
No.
Okay. Then
Largely in Everest, no.
yeah. Okay.
But
Casually.
there are a few places that might sell some nicer ones. Not in here.
Okay. I'll wait then. I don't need it yet.
Yeah. So you find your way back to the Golden Fool and to Hearsome, the Archfey, who is your patron. And as you all kind of return one by one, with Minka and Cheshire really holding the fort down and regarding this divination tool set, Hearsome would welcome you all back and say, "Wandering hearts, it is near noon. Are you ready to begin your travels?
Been ready.
You will need to make a quick pace to reach the Divine Court before nightfall."
I got it.
He nods. Moment here. Okay. He stands, he turns, nods to the innkeeper, and he bids you all follow him.
No sign of Crispy, right?
No sign of any of these other archfey. But seeing you look around a little bit, kind of like looking for Crispy, Hearsome would say, Crispy had to go back. He does own a business within the Emerald Spire, and it is a weekday. But he sends his regards and hopes that at some point you come for, he said, baby drinks. Wandering hearts, follow me. And he makes his way out and into the rain, leads you to an area where there is like a set of steps that crawls up to a risen sort of road. And on that steps where the vines kind of cascade down, Hearsome turns and says, I will open the gateway, and from the tree you emerge from, travel northwest. You'll clear the tree line within 3 or so hours, and you should be able to see the stone ribs that mark the boundaries of the valley where whispers die. Walk towards those, and you'll soon see the tower appear on the horizon. That is the Divine Court. As I said, you will need to make a quick pace to reach before dark. You should not be traveling after dark.
Head towards what again?
There are what will look almost like stone ribs. I've heard them referred to as other things as well, but I think ribs is quite apt.
We saw them off in the distance when we were on the shore of Lake Tarkana.
I believe you saw them also from the beetle train. They're pretty huge.
Yeah.
You can see them in the map. They're like gigantic.
They're the ones that like are quite clearly.
Ribby? Oh, I see them now.
No, they're
They're
all the
way,
up.
way up, way up.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see those. You're not going to be even really approaching them, but you'll like
down here.
get to the tower before you get to the ribs.
We have to go there.
I see. Very good.
He nods. Is there any final questions before I open this gate for all of you? You once more have means to access me at any time, but please use it responsibly this time. I do not want to listen to anyone use the bathroom.
Me neither.
What?
I'll let it play. He turns to the like kind of wall of vines, and he puts his hands upon it. He smiles, and by spreading them apart, it is as if the roots themselves part to a frame of door, and it glows this brilliant green. Mika just walks right in. Anybody else going in? Everybody, one after the other.
We know the drill.
Thank you.
You step through one thank you, just kind of echoing through the space, and you take 3 or 4 steps, carrying you through a space of constantly shifting roots and cracking wood. There is soft bits of moss that every time you might get a splinter shields you from the elements, and you step out into a forest of birch and spruce trees. The sound of insects chirp and buzz away here in the summertime air, and you can smell the air blows softly here through the canopy overhead, rustling the leaves. To the north, the trees are a little bit sparser, allowing for longer lines of sight. To the east, where you have just kind of popped out of this sort of tree, and the tree itself closing, you can see the forest actually gets heavier and more dense, with older elms actually interspersed into the thinner spruce. And to the south, you can see the terrain gradually begins to slow somewhat downhill. To the west, the forest remains much the same. The tree behind you closes in a which echoes and causes a few birds to off and from the trees, but you are all now within what is called the Amberbask Forest. It is warm, about 80 degrees here.
Can I take a moment and like really observe the tree we just came out of?
Sure can. For what?
I do have travel
For
between
looking
trees now.
Okay.
Very
So
good.
I would like to take note of trees that are travelable.
I cut it down and count the rings.
You know that Tearsome just used that spell,
Yes.
so this is certainly a tree that would encompass that.
Yes.
You make good note of it. You are familiar with this tree.
Great.
You can name it if you wish.
Do you
Bob.
hug it?
Bob.
Do you keep track of known trees too?
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
The
Bob.
tree, located in the Amberbask Forest. So you regard Bob, and he is now an old friend. You are all now standing here. It is about 12:30 in the afternoon on Thursday, the 11th of High Sun, and your destination is roughly northwest.
Are we taking the stagecoach?
We definitely can. I'll go in and get it right now. Boop, boop. And then go in and I grab the thing and then boop. It's a subset of beep boop beep boop beep.
Yeah.
And there it is. There's the carriage.
You use the words of power to extract the carriage. You can see now, as Alina pulls it out, for those of you who haven't been within the ring too often or not paid close attention, the foliage on this carriage has shifted entirely. It is reds and yellows. It is all the colors of autumn, really now much more radiant and bright than it was before. And you have a carriage. The horses follow probably like 6 seconds later. These two dark creatures that are almost like shadows that just ripple into being and await your instructions.
Cheshire's going in and taking a seat.
Okay, you
On
step
hold.
in,
Sit out front.
you go up and sit up front.
Alina's gonna climb into the front also, and when she sees Ori, she's gonna be like, maybe you should go do some trancing? You still don't look too good from last night.
He
That's
smells
what I was
better.
gonna do. Was air out though.
Honestly, fair.
Okay.
Also, canonically, Ori likes sleeping outside.
That's true.
Established
That's
this.
true.
That's
So the two of you
She's just
take the
gonna
front
like
position.
prestidigitate him clean.
No problem. The four of you are taking the interior of the coach. No problem.
Question.
Yeah.
For the spell Find the Path,
Yeah.
how familiar does familiar mean?
Give me 1 second to look up that spell.
You
Yeah,
know
it
his
says-
name.
Yeah, the spell allows you to find the shortest, most direct physical route to a specific fixed location that you're familiar with on the same plane of existence.
I would say to be familiar with, you would have needed to have like
Been there at least
been
once?
there before.
Yeah.
Alina, the item that you have does not have that same requirement. You just need to know of it.
Very good.
Okay. So I guess we just kind of head towards the ribs?
Those ribs. Do we see the ribs?
From here, you are just in a forest, and the thick kind of close, like the trunks of the trees form the sort of wall that you can't quite see through. You would need to travel further to where you can see beyond just the tree line immediately in front of you.
Does anybody know which way is north?
Would
We'll
I
go
be
that
able
way.
to figure that out?
I believe, don't you just always know?
Well,
You have keen
no,
mind?
I don't know. Always know, but I can recall anywhere that I've been
Do you
with
have
like
keen
major
mind?
accuracy.
He
I
does.
thought, no, but I thought part of yours was you always knew exactly
One?
true north.
Keen mind
I-
is
that's
that.
Oh,
keen
okay,
mind.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I have excellent memory for maps and geography, and
Gotcha.
can always recall the general layout
Make a survival check.
of terrain.
I'll also
and
make a
other
survival
features
check.
around.
Yeah, can I too? I
Yeah,
mean,
make a
it's-
survival check.
And I can find,
Forest.
I can forage for up to 5 people. That's the other thing.
Yep.
15. No.
You see Ori
12.
immediately starts picking berries.
Damn.
With a 12, you look around. You have a rough idea.
So
27.
before she points, she's just gonna wait for someone
27.
else, and then she's be like, "Oh, it's actually full."
You said
So,
survival.
Alina, you look around and you have like
Not be either.
180 degrees that might be north. You're like, okay, it's definitely not back
It's
there.
one of these, yeah.
It's in this rough way. And then you have a 27.
Mhm.
You just innately, there's something in the back of your mind that you can almost feel. It's behind your eyes, it's between your ears. It's not quite a sound and not quite a taste. It's like a weird kind of sixth sense, but you feel almost like Minka, you've heard about like birds that migrate, and they migrate by some mysterious like electromagnetism. It feels like that, and it's pointing you almost certainly in a northwesterly direction. You kind of turn, and you have a really good sense of where this is.
Is she pointing towards the same direction everyone else is pointing?
No, that might be a good thing though.
The same direction that Cheshire's pointing, though, right? Or has been pointing.
What direction are you
continuously
pointing?
Vaguely northwest.
Vaguely northwest. I would say, do you have any feature that allows you to know what northwest is?
Not specifically.
Make a survival check.
Just the straight.
I really hope everyone goes, it's that way, and we're all wrong.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not bad.
Okay, who feels the most confident?
22.
22. Yeah, so both Cheshire and Minka kind of point off in the same direction. The rest of you, like, vaguely and then kind of aligning with Minka and Cheshire. By consensus, that seems to be the correct answer.
Majority rules, let's go.
Okay. You begin to walk.
I'll keep an eye out for danger. You drive.
No, you trance.
I can't mechanically trance. I think that's why. Like right now on the.
You can. That's the whole point of a stagecoach, yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that was why I was.
You just can't, like, keep watch also.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
was why.
So do you want to go inside?
Ori,
and let
that's
someone
why I
else be
suggested that you go
outside?
inside.
No, I'm
the
still gonna be
stagecoach.
outside, but I'm gonna trance.
Okay,
So we'll
it's
just have
more
one
of a
person on
buckle. I
watch
buckle
instead
him
of two.
in.
You don't need to buckle him in. It's enough of an enclosed seat that he's going
Okay.
to be fine, unless you get to the point where, like, you're rolling initiative anyways.
Yeah.
I got some chains if you want
I'm
it.
still like subconsciously aware. So like if something
First of
crazy
all,
happens,
He's
they'll
engaged
wake
his
up.
core.
I understand.
As you travel through the woods, the wheels kind of pop over the slightly uneven terrain. The ground is soft, but it's firm enough to not cause you any issues with the wheels. There is no trail or path necessarily, but with Minka's guidance, every now and then just kind of like opening the window and pointing, very easy for you to follow through the trees. There are bushes here, and they stand apart from the trees, creating like little clearings that are about 20 to 40 feet wide, where there are just clumps of underbrush that here teem with wildlife. There are birds and squirrels and all kinds of things that just kind of move and watch you as you pass. But as you begin to make your way across, Alina, make a perception check.
Rez is with me too, right? Would you justify him, or could I justify him making one too?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Can I begin the countdown of trancing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I presumed you were.
Trans.
Yeah.
Alina
Feel
gets
yourself
a
slowly getting stronger.
dirty 20,
Okay.
and Rez goes 17.
Okay. With a dirty 24. You travel along this route, and it's relatively flat, relatively even. The first hour goes by relatively without any issue, and the trees do begin to break apart and become a little bit more spread out. It becomes even easier to travel. Though there are here and there like little hills that rise up and kind of form little like stone walls. You can see there are a number of little animals that kind of watch you as you move. And you can see with a 20 all kinds of like little critters that regard you as you go. But with what was Rez's roll?
17.
17. That's most of what you see. I would say with the speed that you make on your cart, the real thing that catches your eye is it's beginning to get a little darker. As you make your way, 2 hours on, the sun was overhead when you started. Now it's starting to dip down a little bit, and there are shadows that are beginning to appear here. And when you get to a place where you can see more than just 100 feet off in the distance for the trees, you can see to the left and off into what Minka is indicating is the west. There are places where the trees no longer grow, and there are just rocks that stand out, and they're familiar looking rocks. You never traveled this far east in the Fields of Folly, but you are very close. And these shadows, though they are not terribly dark, they are shadows. Are you doing anything different, or are you just keeping watch?
Yeah. Well, as I'm gonna spur the horses as fast as they can go, and then I'm also just gonna kind of make it known what I saw.
What time is it?
Probably about 2:30.
Okay.
Question.
Answer.
The creatures that pull the cart.
Yeah.
Are they creatures?
I need a different question.
Would Minka know that a spell that could affect creatures would be able to affect these horses?
If it affects creatures.
It does affect creatures.
If it affects beasts, you are not so sure.
It specifically affects creatures.
Then that would work.
Okay, cool. At the third level, hearing Alina, the worry in Alina's voice, Minka's going to like poke her head out and be like, "I can try to see if I can let the horses go faster."
Yes, please.
Okay, I do need to be able to touch them.
All right,
Should we just stop the cart for a second?
no time.
Suddenly the music changes to like, and
Within transit,
there's just like Western music. We're in Black Hearts of Texas, boys.
Can we feed Ori through the window?
You see a Mr. Handy just riding it on a horse. But no, it's a pretty. It probably there is no window. There isn't even supposed to be a driver, so like there's no place designed to be like.
I feel like I'm in the car right now and they're having this conversation.
No, the problem is you're not in the car.
If you want to cast the spell, you could take a not small amount of risk to have Minka lean out the window and kind of cast it, or you could stop for like 10 seconds.
No, I stopped.
Okay, I would like to cast Longstrider at the third level so I can affect both of these creatures to allow them to increase their speed for 10 feet for an hour to make them go a little bit faster.
Okay. So when you cast a spell, the target's greed increases by 10 feet until the spell ends. Okay. Yeah.
I can cast a spell at a slot a second level of higher, or you can target one additional creature for each level. So second level.
So you go over, you put both of your hands on each of these creatures. And your hands, they settle on them, but they almost sink like a quarter inch through the substance that is them. They're shadowy and they feel kind of cold to the touch. And you can smell like loam and wet earth as you touch them, but it works. You can see for just a moment, they're just kind of like standing in place, but they stand a little faster. The paws kind of move a little quicker. The idle animation like speeds up a little bit. You can see they have been successfully buffed.
I will think of the little
Sure you haven't played a Final Fantasy game?
I'm thinking World of Warcraft.
Close enough.
But Minka, in this moment, as you are kind of bolstering these creatures, you look around and you recognize that beyond these shadows growing a little bit stronger, other shadows have as well. Off and to your left, you can see along an element where there are trees that grow up high. Some of those shadows have grown darker. More than just a few. But because it is 8:30, this is where we're going to step away. Well, would a visual perspective be helpful?
Dang it!
Okay.
We're gonna have a
You
really
tricked
cool
us.
social
I wouldn't say I
interaction.
tricked you. I gave you two options, and I thought it was pretty obvious. But hang on.
Pretty obvious.
Wait, what were the two options?
Just keep going and have Minka lean out and go and try and touch the horses, or stop for 10 seconds and have Minka touch the horses.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
we decided to be safe, and we are no longer safe.
I decided no such thing.
Okay. You guys help me out with this, please.
I mean, we can
I had
keep-
several really good ideas for why we wouldn't have to stop.
So if you
Everyone
want to
has a
place the
pawn.
cart right in the center of this board, I can grab the cart.
So
we
it
have
could
a
end
card.
up being more of a chase.
Could. Oh, like
Just cast Longstrider.
yeah.
So.
I told you we'd see my doggos.
Work.
You were worried that they wouldn't get on because you were out of the fields of folly.
I was briefly. And then
That
I was like,
was
wait,
your
I've got
folly.
soul coins.
Wait, we're gonna play D&D until we're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be able to figure out a time to use them, no problem.
Sorry.
All right, you guys can place yourselves where you would like to be.
I'm clearly in front of the two horses, giving them good pats on the head.
I'm still sitting in front of the cart, I guess.
I
as
am
a
in the
transit.
cart with Cheshire and Valis.
I
I'm
see
outside
the
of the cart.
objective. Keep Ori safe.
Never mind, I am inside the cart with Cheshire.
And the
Pull this
cart.
up. And again, you can see the encounter map a little bit right here, but you can see it in much greater detail. If people take pictures
Ori has killed a horse again.
at Albron RPG on Instagram, you could see out here off and to your left, behind where Valis and Alina are. Though Cheshire, you can see this much greater as you ride atop the kind of cart. As
We are
people
inside.
Okay, gotcha. You can see that the shadows have grown longer, and many of them have taken on a sleeker form. And all of a sudden, Valis, those of you who are within the cart, you can hear from one of these trees this low and guttural growl. But again, because it is 8:30, we're going to step away for a quick break, and we'll be right back at the end of the countdown that you see on your screen. Thank you for joining us for this session of D&D. We'll be right back.
Can I offer you an egg?
And welcome back to Courts of Everest, our D&D campaign, not our wildlife show.
Oh, that would be a great April Fools, though.
Everybody shows up. Welcome to Courts of Everest. This is a puppy.
Yeah.
This is a cat. And this is a cat.
For all of you, you can see now the shadows are beginning to separate themselves from these trees. And almost certainly, for those of you who have made your way outside from this coach, you can see that many of these have elongated and begun to growl. You can see that these shadows take on these four-legged shapes. These huge shadow mastiffs begin to step out of these trees. And I would say for... Who has a passive perception above 20?
Me, but I'm trancing, so I'm only semi-conscious of what's going on.
Those of you who can see 5 large shadowy hounds. Yes,
I do.
Billy, you are the only person as you peek through the windows of this place.
Sorry.
It's about to become a wildlife show.
Oh, the big mans. Hi, mans.
Uh-oh.
You're a good boy.
Always interrupt the stream for a good man.
Yes.
He's a big
Yes.
man. Look at that man.
That's for real, and we're in his
What a
bathroom.
good boy. Yeah, this is where he lives.
He's a good boy.
He is a good boy. He's milking it. He knows he's on camera. And because the shadow mastiffs are stepping out and towards all of you, we're going to roll for initiative.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
You don't say.
Do I get to shout something before initiative, or is it just the way it is?
It is just the way it is
All right.
in the words of that
Damn.
band in the
We
90s.
trancing
Oh
pretty
my
well.
god.
Whew. Okay.
Well, I rolled 2 dice again, but I called this one as Alina first, and I'm upset.
So it's going to be 13.
You guys think I should try to power through this?
Just keep trying to sleep. You're going to be fine. All right. So,
Do you need me?
anybody natural 20? 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
17.
Nice. Your top person is Trancin at 19 with Ori. 17. What was yours?
15.
17 for Billy. 15 for Minka. All right. 15 to 10.
12.
All right. 12 for Valis. Wow. Valis going lightning fast. And then that means that, Alina, where are you?
1.
1.
Cheshire
And
with
Rez with 0.
9.
And then Rez with Cheshire with what?
9.
9. I used to. Wow, it's like Valis and Cheshire.
She
switch
got
places.
distracted by a cat.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, suitable. All right. So the way that this shakes out, there is a individual that only Billy has begun to make out that is going to go first. Then Ori, then Billy, then Minka, then the Shadow Mastiffs, then Valis, then Cheshire. Then Alina, and then at the very bottom, Rez is like just kind of picking something out of his teeth at this moment.
I'm sure
Billy-
he's a cat.
Yeah, Billy, you look beyond this illusion of a cat that Cheshire is just manifesting within this space, and you can see through the curtains there is an individual, not just a shadow mastiff, but a grinning, leering face coming out of a shadowy, hooded figure. They step out, and you can see from one hand, it is like the arm uncoils and just continues to roll out, but then it just cracks, and you can see this shadow holds a whip. And it seems to be made out of the same stuff as the Shadowfell. They are going to first
They're first.
Where are they?
fly.
Right
Fly.
behind you.
Oh,
Wow.
didn't even see them.
Yeah.
You
Hide
don't
behind
have
the
a
tree.
passive perception
Yeah.
above 20.
Damn.
Vincent does not have a
Damn.
up right here. It will be 20 feet up in the air. This whip trails like a tail behind them, and from where they are not in range to immediately attack anybody. And so they are going to pull their other hand up to this grinning mouth. There is no lips. The teeth still spread in a big smile, but in all of your minds, you hear this ear-piercing whistle. And these hounds shriek out, and you can hear it is as if they all react loudly. None are in a space to take an attack, but you would imagine that their strength is somewhat bolstered at this moment. That is all that the Houndmaster can do on their first turn. That brings us to Ori. Ori, you trance. And in this moment, there is a loud whistle, and that certainly wakes you up.
So, hearing this whistle, waking up, What am I looking at here?
You are tired. You are hungover. You smell bad. Although prestidigitated, you are somewhat clean. Looking out of the window of this space, you are up on top.
Front. I'm on the front.
You look to the left, and just 15 feet down, there is a shadow mastiff baring its shadowy teeth, growling and stepping towards the cart. There are a few others in the tree line, and you see this figure now flying overhead.
Okay. Bonus action, steady aim.
Okay.
And
Or you're sleeping with your crossbow in your lap. You just kind of open your eyes, bring it up. Still not sure, dreaming or
on
not.
the hip.
There's a part of you, Ori, that remembers, like, I thought they were archfey. They were cows. Are these really shadows? You get ready to fire. Steady aim.
And just kind of like, still kind of laying there, just like, shoot at the... You said I saw the guy, right? But I don't know if, like...
Just a floating, shadowy guy.
The Mastiff is right near me.
It is.
I think I gotta shoot the Mastiff.
Maybe you do.
So I'm gonna shoot the Mastiff.
Seems like you do. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Damn, that's crazy.
Oh, there's the fifth one.
I'm gonna follow this piece.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, that's a 26.
26 is absolutely a hit. Even though this creature is made out of the stuff of shadows, insubstantial, and not as easy to strike as a normal dog, that is definitely a hit.
And I don't think I'm gonna use anything because I haven't gotten my rest.
You got sneak attack, don't you?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm gonna sneak attack, but, that's it. So,
That's it, he says.
well, you know, because, like...
It's all the magic that Ori possesses, is the commanding strikes. The magic of his presence.
That one's cocked. Also cocked. It fell out. There we go. That's... plus... 24 magical piercing damage?
24 magical piercing damage, and because it is magical, seems to do the full amount. This creature, as it's growling, suddenly is struck, and you can hear this "Arf!" as it's hit, but it begins to immediately growl again. Anything else, Ori?
That's it for me.
That is your turn. That brings us to Billy.
Yay.
Minka, you are on deck. For some reason, I wrote belittle, but that is not your name.
I mean, I do that a lot,
It is
so
true.
it's fair.
You little Billy's rap name.
Is it an action to get out of the coach?
It is not an action. It is just movement. 5 feet of movement will get you out of the coach.
Great. Love that for me. Out of the coach, that's 10, 25, oh, counting, 15, 20, 25, 30. Alright. Let's see. That puts me next to the Shadow Mastiff, which I don't love, but it's fine.
It'll be fine.
It's fine. Billy is feeling a little bit sturdier than she has in the past. And just going to cast Hexblade's Curse on the flying dude.
Okay.
He that flieth.
He that flieth. You go ahead and cast Hexblade's Curse on them.
And then,
That's
pew
the
pew.
curse.
He that flieth. Against him?
Dieth.
Make your attack rolls.
Oh man.
So one for sure does not hit with a 12.
That is a miss.
The other one is a 22.
22 hits. The first one passes straight through their body, and the second one seems to find a more corporeal form.
Right. So that's... Oh, I get 3! I keep forgetting I get 3! That's a natural 1!
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 12 points of force damage.
Okay.
And he gets pulled 10 feet closer.
Very nice. You
Shadow Man.
pull the shadow 10 feet closer to you. It does the full amount of damage that you would expect. Anything else?
That's my bonus action. That's my action. That's my movement. Nope.
All right, that brings us to Minka, and then the Mastiffs are on deck.
Excellent. Okay, so I can see that Shadow Mastiff.
When Billy runs out of the cart, plants one hand on Ori's shoulder, and then leaps out, you can see now through the window it is open to you the Mastiffs, and then the shadow pulled into your point of view.
Ah, okay, dope. I'm gonna take a couple steps away from the horses.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna scoot myself back a touch so I don't spook them too bad. Even though they are magical, not quite horses.
Even so, it's respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just go like this. All right, and then
It's just the way it shook out.
yeah. Okay. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to cast a new cantrip because I swapped out a cantrip at a level up.
Hey, you did it.
I did it. I decided to do it. Sorry, Mold Earth. You were great while we had you.
That's a bold choice.
I know. So I would like to cast Starry Wisp, aiming at the Mastiff on the ground.
Okay. The one that Ori shot at, or the one closer to you?
The one that is in between these two trees here.
Okay, yeah, the one that Ori shot at.
Yeah. Okay. Core beans. Yeah. It's a total of 28 to hit.
28 is definitely a hit.
So it is 3d8 radiant damage. So that's 10 radiant damage.
And that 10 radiant damage, twice as effective as you would want it to be, and that is more than enough. This creature already somewhat hurt as Ori had struck it. Ori, you can see the arrow almost knocks it over, but it stands back up, and then Minka, the Malicious, rises out of the space and casts this brand new spell. You've never seen it before. Motes of starlight that just radiate into this creature and shear the shadowy head straight from the shadowy body. It falls dead on the ground.
This one right here?
Definitely woke Ori up.
Yeah, that one's gone, yeah.
I will then use my bonus action to channel the archer, and when it's channeled, I can shoot one arrow.
Absolutely can.
I definitely remember to do that every single time.
Every time.
I channel the archer.
That's why you're explaining it now.
Yep. It's only a 17.
A 17 on one of these Shadow Mastiffs is a hit.
Ooh, excellent. And
Do it.
so I do believe that is
Do it.
also 3d8. I just want to double check because I keep forgetting because it is, no, it's 2d8. That's plus 5. Right, that's it. Okay. Oh, maximum damage! 21. 21 radiant damage.
With 21 points of radiant damage, that is twice as effective as you would want it to be. That Shadow Mastiff just away into this radiant
This
bolt
one?
of light. It is gone. As you just erase it from the space, it disappears, and you, Minka, just glow brightly now. And you feel as if these Mastiffs almost shy away from that light. Anything else?
Abilities might consider.
Okay, that does bring us to the Mastiffs.
The two left?
The three left.
Where's the other one? Oh, I didn't see that
Nigga,
one.
that was some mastiff damage.
Love that for me.
I want to both congratulate you and be mad at you at the same time.
Mad because you didn't get to it first, right? Again, isn't it awful when he does that?
This one is going to have to run. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Dashing 5, 10, 15, 20,
Molder, I thought you were going to get rid of fire thunderclap.
40.
Oh, I did
And
get rid
that
of
will
Thunderclap.
provoke an attack of
Very
opportunity
good.
from
That's-
Rez
I
if Rez
think my,
wants
my
it.
brain
Yeah.
One of these Shadow Masters just runs. If Rez is invisible, that is an advantage.
Hi.
He is, and it is.
Is it dark? Is it dark out?
Not in the immediate vicinity of Minka. You're in a forest, and so the light is dim here, but no longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
18 for Rez's attack of opportunity.
18 sees this Mastiff coming, and in your mind you hear, "I got it!" and lashes out, and that is indeed a hit.
Very nice.
Good job, buddy.
So that's gonna be 4 points of piercing damage, and he needs to make a con save DC 18.
Is it magical piercing?
I believe it's explicitly said that his attacks are magical.
Okay, we will treat them as if they are. And that is a con save?
What's a con save?
That is going to be 15.
Nope, that's a failure. So he's gonna take an additional 3d6 poison damage. 9. So 12 points of poison damage.
12 points of poison damage, which also does the full amount that you would expect. Rez lands a pretty decent blow on this creature, just slashing at it as it runs. Its leg a little bit lame as it pulls around the corner and just falls almost flat in front of Billy, but it pulls itself back up to its legs. Billy, you now have 2 shadow mastiffs in your face, and Minka, you have 1. The one that comes over to you, Minka, shies away from the light, but is still going to make its attack. It is bolstered by the Houndmaster. It is cowed by your light. It is just making an attack even against you. This is a bite attack. That is going to be a 23 to hit.
That hits.
That is going to be... That was not a great sound. That was a very disappointing sound. 9 points of piercing damage. And can you make a strength saving throw, please? As it bites into your leg and tries to drag you down to the ground.
I'm probably going down, knowing me. 10.
Minka, you meet expectations as you are knocked prone. This creature just rips you to the ground. And those of you who saw Minka just envelop the forest with light suddenly see the light grow a little bit more dim as she hits the ground hard. The dog just rips away. For you, Billy, this creature taking an attack, it's a little bit dimmer over here. And good thing for the creature, that is going to be a 21 to hit.
Sure does.
With a 21, you are going to be taking... That is cocked somehow. You are going to be taking 9 points of piercing damage. And can you make a strength saving throw, please?
Sure. Oh. Can I get... Nope, I'm too far.
You've strayed from Valus's light.
5.
Rip down to the ground. You are knocked prone. And this other dog looming over top is going to make an attack against you as well.
So the first dog Billy points at and is like, bad dog. And I would need a dexterity saving throw.
That is going to be a 19.
Yeah, that makes it. But you still get half the damage.
Excellent.
That's 9.
Bad dog. Still get some
19. 23 halved to 11?
23 halved to 11. And that is...
fire damage.
11 fire damage. That is the full amount that you would expect. However, this creature does get an attack against you. That is going to be a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
As you are prone and this is a melee attack, this is a critical hit. Ooh. Billy, very lucky for you though, that is going to be only 17 points of piercing damage. And as you are already knocked prone, no need to repeat that saving throw. These dogs just ripping into you, knocking you down to the ground. For those of you in the coach, you see Minka and Billy both just pulled to the forest floor. That is the Mastiff's turn. That brings us to Valus. Cheshire, you're on deck.
Do I know if these things are fiends? Or if effects that would affect fiends would affect them?
From where you are, you haven't seen them. You do remember when you last used that ability on these creatures, they were not fiends.
Okay. Alright.
They're similar to the shadows from last time, but more forms.
What I will say is, though, Valus, these hounds, they do seem to be slightly different than the shadows proper. They might have different properties. You imagine, though, nothing here for you ringing fiend as far as you've seen.
Okay. Well, there's a coach in the way, so I'm just gonna...
Sunbeam it?
Huh?
Sunbeam it!
I'm just gonna phase step over here.
Okay.
Alright, am I flanking this thing? Even if Billy's on the ground?
So you go over there. I don't believe a prone ally provides flanking. Let me just double check that.
I don't think it does.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
In that case, I'll
I think
be...
it's a solid try, though.
Yeah.
I'll be right here, and I'll attack this,
Creativity.
this hound.
You know,
It does?
as long as you are able to attack, you still
Hey.
provide that. So you're not incapacitated. You are just prone. Absolutely, it does.
Grappling at his
Be on your
ankles.
knees.
It's more
Be
just like
"Huh."
they're aware of you as a threat, and that is what's providing that. They have to always keep you kind of in the periphery.
Because I'm taking away
You're
some
prone,
attention.
but you can still get up from prone.
People
just hit
still
him from the
are
ground.
afraid of
Well,
me.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, still threatening.
26.
That's right, I am still threatening.
You lash out at
Not
one
as
of these
much.
shadow mastiffs, and that absolutely hits. This creature already kind of hurt from res.
And smite does more damage to fiend, but it does not do more damage to these things, right? Or undead.
Are you smiting?
I am smiting. Oh yeah, I smite. Do I get an extra D8?
This is neither fiend nor undead.
All right. So that will be
Shadows.
Knowledge, and knowledge is power.
let's see.
It could be an ooze. It could be a human. It could be lots of
7
different things.
magical slashing, and
That is
then
the full amount that you would expect.
12 radiant.
And then 12 radiant, which is double the amount. With the smite damage, the slashing barely does anything, but it leaves just this mote of light in the center. And you can see as the creature is about to take a step towards you, the light grows brighter and brighter and then just explodes. And the shadow becomes ribbons on the ground before fading into nothing.
Blah.
They're gone.
All right, and I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hit this one that is bullying Minka.
Okay, do it.
Does a 21 hit?
A 21 against the Mastiff? Yes,
Yes.
it absolutely does.
All right, and I am gonna smite again.
All right.
We smiting. So that is gonna be. Can I get 48?
40.
Damn.
I got 2.
Here, I got 2 right here.
I'm good.
Yep.
All right, so that would be 12. Sorry. Look at the numbies.
Numbies.
He's sorry, but he's not.
13 magical slashing,
Okay.
and then oh my god, those are terrible.
Where?
Yeah, that'll be 14 radiant.
Still more than enough. You slash into this creature unhurt. It has just knocked Minka down. Minka, this creature is about to rear back and bite into your throat, and then Valis
Not on my
appears and just draws the sword through them, and they explode into light. It is blindingly bright in this space. But anything else, Valis?
That'll be it for today.
All right, that brings us to Cheshire,
Done
and
with
then
combat.
Lena and Rez bringing us home. Cheshire, you can see Valis just flies out and begins to attack these creatures. At the moment, Billy kind of knocked to the ground by another one. What are you doing?
Cheshire leans out from the carriage and so we're attacking and not running. And attacking is going to be unsettling words on our Houndmaster friend.
Okay.
And then she's going to look at him. We don't have time for you. And that's banishment. So they need
Nice. Charisma save, right?
And what is the number for unsettling words?
You subtracted D10
Nice.
from the roll.
Nice.
Ooh.
And what kind of save?
What a good combo.
Charisma.
That's some good bad numbies.
Yes. That's a good roll on my charisma check. They have no bonus to it. That is just a flat 17.
That is a failure.
Ooh.
Nice. Peace out, home slice.
Give me
For
1 second.
potentially ever.
So you banish this individual. They disappear from this plane. The whip, you can see, just falls from their hand and to the ground before just disappearing.
Come on, let's go. And Chester sits back in her seat.
You can pull that guy off the map for now.
We got a minute at least, right?
Anything else, Cheshire?
Nope, that's it.
That brings us to you, Alina.
Okay, Elena's like, what? Okay, and she's gonna fire off some eldritch blasts at the only remaining hound.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a 19, a 17, and a natural 1.
A 19 and a 17 against the remaining hound both hit. The natural 1 misses. And unfortunately, you can go ahead and roll damage for that third one as Billy is perfectly positioned to take this blow.
All right. I'll do that one first, and I'll do the damage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why?
I'm sorry.
Why would you roll that high?
It's 14 points of force damage.
Billy, you are stabbed in the back by Alina and
No.
you're shot while on the ground, but then 2 shots hit the creature right next to you.
Do you want to use your grasp on
Sorry, 8,
Twist
up
the
and
knife.
down.
Get over here.
So truly, Tristan and I be
18
given
points
opportunity.
of force damage on the dog.
This
And
creature.
4 fire.
And 4 fire. This creature looking rough. That one blow almost erasing them from this plane, but they still stand over Billy, who you just shot. Anything else?
Yeah, I forget, can one pull a hostile through a friendly space?
I
know-
don't believe so.
No,
No.
okay. Then she's gonna use her movement just to climb back on the cart. Just so
Okay,
she's ready
no
to
problem. You climb back on. You heard them say, "Come on, we have to go."
Yep.
You get carted up. What is Rez doing?
Go. So Rez is so she
Go
would have
help
told him
Billy up.
what?
Go help Billy up.
He's gonna go attack the hound to try to just finish it off.
No problem.
I believe in you, Rez.
Damn,
Rez
this could be
says,
nice.
"I believe in me too." He flies towards this creature as
Okay.
fast as his little potato wings will carry him.
That
Meanwhile,
is,
Ori's like, quick, start the cart. We can leave her behind.
Ori has barely even
14.
done
14.
anything. He's still trying to
14?
trance.
14 is a hit.
He took his shot, saw everything unfolding, and was
Let's
like,
go.
maybe
Crushing
back
it.
to
he
trance.
is
Got this.
crushing it. All right, that's 7 points of piercing damage and a con save DC 18.
Okay.
He's a good buddy. Look at him go.
That is only going to be a eat.
All right, so that is going to be 15 points of poison damage.
Rez. Tell us how it happens.
Chops his head off and come on, Billy, let's go.
So, Billy, as you are like being savaged by this creature, you look around for help. You look for Valis. You see Valis fighting off over Minka. You look over. You could hear Cheshire calling for you to get in the cart. And then suddenly, this creature's head just lops straight off. And you look up expecting to see Valis or Alina. And it is just Rez holding this tiny little spear that somehow inexplicably severed the entire head. And he just reaches down with one hand and goes, "Come on, get up." And we're all out of initiative.
I'm gonna
As
stay here,
Rez
thanks.
kills this creature and Cheshire,
Damn. I can't
banishing this creature that is native to the Shadowfell, it does not return after 1 minute.
Very nice.
And you are all out of initiative. Very nice.
So
Billy's just gonna say, leave me
Ori only had
behind.
one action.
Leave me
Sorry,
here.
I'm
6
sorry that I
seconds. Can
almost
Ori
killed
go back
you.
to trance?
You can go back to trance and
Leave
you
me
have to
here.
restart it.
Damn!
There's an
Lose your
accident.
hour.
Ah!
It's better that you tried to kill me. Look at this.
Go back to
Billy
sleep.
just gestures at the evaporating shadow corpse of the dog that Rez killed.
Rez is just poking it with the stick. But no problem. You do that.
I needed a win.
You all find yourself now in the space. The kind of shadowy horses just like stamping very kind of
Let's
insistently.
Go,
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Fine. Billy crawls in the carriage.
Okay, no problem.
As
You
soon
crawl
as
to the
everybody's in. Yeah.
Let's go.
I look,
Yeah!
I look
And it's a little
around
faster.
for any animals that are intently paying attention to us.
Make a perception
Intently
check.
paying attention.
Intently.
You never know.
Not casually.
If an animal is intently paying attention, I think we do not want to talk to
Yeah,
it.
right.
Just make really direct eye contact with the chipmunk.
A dirty, filthy 20.
Dirty, filthy, absolutely disgusting 20. You look around and there are bits of wildlife that you can see. Suddenly the cart begins to move and it's going much quicker. You can see off in some of the trees there are like birds, nothing like staring at you, though there is actually one darker bird that you can see up in one of these trees staring pretty intently. It is a blackbird of some kind. I would say make a nature check.
Damn, I've seen birds like that before.
You have.
But I'm not looking now.
13.
With a 13, maybe a seagull, hard to tell, but some kind of a blackbird for sure.
Seagulls are black
But
sometimes.
you begin to kind of just whip the reins, and with Alina kind of driving the horses, you lose sight of it quick enough.
Yeah.
Every now and then, though, you do see wildlife. Is there anything else that the rest of you are doing as you begin to make your way further along the road?
Resting.
Okay. You begin a short rest.
Yeah, before we pick up again, I'm gonna take a quick glance around and then be like,
Make a perception check.
Can I help by pointing out the weird bird I saw?
Yeah, I guess. Make a perception
you
check
see
at
that bird?
advantage.
Looking at us weird.
Size on the side.
I know when a bird is looking at me right, and that one's looking at me weird.
22.
With the 22, you look out and around, and you follow. First of all, you don't see like anything super threatening immediately, but Valis points you towards this bird, and you see there is a bird that's eyeing your cart. You see the head just turns, and the single black eye just regards you very intently. Not you, but the cart, perhaps in particular.
Where have I seen this bird
And then it
before?
flies up, and you see it kind of
In
follows.
in the woods.
Lands on a tree, kind of staying behind you, but does seem to be following you.
Did we not see some in the Candlestick Forest?
That's what I'm saying. Candlestick Forest was where Ori had seen one before, but there was another time as well. I'm trying to remember that.
Was it last time we were in the Fields of Folly?
I don't think so. I think it was even earlier than that.
Are you thinking of the owl?
You mean Sentinel?
No.
Phoebe.
No, Phoebe.
Oh, no.
That
After
was
that.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You make your way
Anyway.
in this cart. Are you doing anything with that information?
Yeah, is that, who's watching us? Who could be...
A
The
blackbird.
bird. I showed it to you. You can see the bird.
It's a bird. And
When
I
you
still
ask
bird
that
shit.
question, what skill are you trying to leverage?
Like, is this bird... I've seen Minka turn into creatures. Is this a bird with a higher consciousness behind its...
Make an Arcana check.
Not necessarily like someone who is a bird, but, you know, someone looking through the bird's eyes.
Make
like
an Arcana
hunting.
check. You regard this bird, trying to recall what you might know about magical means of interacting with animals in such a way.
That's a 21.
Okay. You look towards this entity. You've seen when Minka turns into a bird, or any animal really, they shimmer with starlight that is reminiscent of Minka's own. Always, and actually, you remember when you had turned another creature, a crystal laden individual into a frog. That frog had like crystals
I
growing
still
out
have
of
them
it.
in my pocket. Well, in my pouch.
Having
But,
has
I've been
He's
feeding
dead.
him.
Yeah.
No, I've been
No, he's been feeding him. He's still very much just a frog,
Yeah.
but has some of these crystals sticking out of his head. There are parts that are similar to how the actual person was.
Hmm.
You don't see this crow, or it's not a seagull. You would never mistake it for a seagull. But this blackbird doesn't seem to have any kind of like little accessories or things like that. It seems like a normal bird, but it is following you for sure. It doesn't seem to be magical.
Okay. So it's just like curious bird.
Sure.
That bird's weird.
Does he still follow us?
Yeah.
I cast speak with animals.
You can speak with the animals, no problem.
Do the people inside the cart, are we aware of the bird, or is this just...
You're aware of
Ori and Valis are like huddled.
You're aware of us sticking our head out the window. And
Ori's
now
talking out the window to Valis is talking out the window to Ori, who's in the front of the stagecoach, and they're like looking at this bird. So yeah,
What
pretty
bird?
loud.
and now you hear Vala shout, "Hey, little guy,
Okay.
why are you following us?"
You could see the bird, which was flying, kind of stops in midair, almost taken aback, hearing you speak to it, and it
Oh shit.
flies closer, and then kind of like takes a quick pass. It does a wide circle around this cart. Billy, you see this creature much closer up. What are you trying to tell about it?
Talk to it.
Billy wants to, like, start casting Eldritch Blast to shoot it.
Okay. You begin to start casting Eldritch Blast, but this creature kind of flies one more time around and then just kind of lands right on the edge of the stagecoach. Even as it kind of bounces along, and it just looks at you with this one dark eye, and it says, "Yeah?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Cool!
What's your name?
I don't really have one."
Well, I'm Valis.
It turns its eye and goes, "Shiny!
You want shiny?
You! Shiny!
Could you?
I am pretty shiny.
Shiny!" And it goes over and just peck, peck, peck right on your armor.
Okay.
And you get the sense that this bird is very interested in shiny things.
I take out a shiny gold piece.
Okay. It flaps and looks at it, and it turns its eye.
You want shiny?
Yeah.
Do we have any questions for this bird?
You can see it's like dialed in.
Trying to trance.
Oh,
Does it know anything about the dome? Has anything weird happened?
Why is it following us?
it's following us because we're shiny and it likes shiny things.
That's some bullshit.
Sounds like a
Make an insight check.
Are you lying to us about liking shiny things?
No.
Inside check.
Make an insight check.
Damn, that's crazy.
Hard to tell, Billy.
I'm trying to insight check a bird.
You recognize that you do have some biases about dark creatures like
Yes.
this, and so hard to tell.
Well,
It's a black bird
With a
and
12?
it's following us through
Hard to
creepy
tell.
forest.
It's like Rez's for Alina, but somebody else.
all right.
Yes, I know.
Hold on. Wait.
Have you?
Stop for a second. What did you just say?
It's like Rez's for you, but for somebody else.
Can I look
Suddenly-
at it and see if I recognize the qualities of a familiar?
He's
Make an Arcana check. You take a look at this creature. You can see, you feel Rez kind of like their shoulder leans into you. You recognize both of you kind of leaning in and looking at this creature together.
Did you say Arcana?
Yeah.
I have help because he's looking too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Oh,
Oh,
not
buddy.
pathetic. 15.
In your mind, you hear Rez's voice, and he says, Alina, I think I know this guy.
Is he an imp?
Hang on. Suddenly, all of you can see Rez, now just kind of there, and he goes over and he goes, hey, Kirk? The bird just turns its eyes and again goes, shiny! And he goes, no, I'm wrong. That's just a bird. I thought that was my friend Kirk, but it's not.
Dear God. You're the worst.
Okay.
You know birds, right? Like
I
they're.
know what birds are, yeah.
Have you heard of birds?
I'm just saying. I've been in the cities before, and some people are like, they're not real. It's just a bird.
Okay.
Ask it if it knows anything. Seen anything weird? Or the dome?
Have you seen? Do you know the big dome that's in this direction that we're going to?
It turns and like
Big
the eye
circle,
kind of
big
regards, and it turns to you and it goes, big circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything weird about it or come out of it?
It's a corvid. It has some intelligence.
I know.
Birds are smart.
It regards you and it says, no. Bad place. Nothing goes in or out. Nothing shiny. All dark. Shiny circle. And it kind of pecks the gold piece.
Have you seen any other shiny things around here? Maybe like a sword. Look over at Ori.
Looks at Ori, gets a little bit closer. Ori, from your trance, you see it get closer and closer, and you feel it on your shoulder. And it probably weighs like 4 pounds. It's a pretty heavy bird. And then you feel on your skull, not hard enough to cause damage, but just a pretty sharp just crack. And it goes,
I'm confused by that reaction.
no, not shiny. Shiny. And it pecks the little gold piece.
All right, I give him the gold piece.
Takes it in its wings and flaps away.
Okay.
We always meet the most interesting people when we're around Alice.
Why did you talk to it? Now it's gonna tell everyone that we're here.
It's a bird. Who is it going to tell?
Billy has some
besides
standing
Alice?
amongst the birds. Okay, Billy doesn't want her reputation amongst the corvids ruined.
Does Minga know that birds can kind of talk? Like corvids can mimic human speech.
Make a nature check.
I'm going back to
That
trance.
seems like an Alana fact, not a Minka
gonna
fact.
It is an Alana fact, and that's why only 13. So
Probably
no.
not. You've heard that like there are some birds that are capable of that, and so possible.
Oh, can some birds like kind of talk?
Yeah, they're called familiars.
I don't
No,
know.
I mean,
like
I don't think that was a familiar. Because we tried to...
It wasn't
I think it was just a
shot
bird that
one out
liked
of a
shiny
tree.
things.
It was just a bird, right?
Make an insight check. At disadvantage is you are trying to insight a bird that is not even here.
And also you were
And you're
trancing.
trancing. What
Yeah,
do you
like,
mean?
You pecked me.
You got up close to it, but
It pecked and squawked in my ear.
seeing it out of the peripheral of your vision and then remembering that for the insight is a tough
Can I
one.
feel the peck?
You can. It doesn't help. In fact, if anything,
Figment of
it
your
literally hurts.
transformation.
Well, it's a 20. Wait, at disadvantage?
Yeah.
4-pound crow is a huge
22.
Okay. With a 22,
familiar.
you think about that creature. And you want to think about, like, specifically...
Like, that bird was just a regular ass bird. As far as I could tell,
Yeah.
not being used as a magical conduit in any way to see or spy on us. Just straight up, as Valis said, liked shiny things
Yes.
and was like attracted to it.
1,000%. This is a corvid that likes shiny things, saw all the various bits of armor and weapons that all of you had, and was following for that reason.
Cool.
We've been kind of yawing
It's
along
a-
this
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
time,
of course.
right?
You've been
Okay,
riding. You've
cool.
been riding.
Billy has the courage of her convictions.
Sure, absolutely.
Familiar.
Trancing on through.
Trance on through. 10 minutes go by. The spell ends. Valis, unless you're like shouting at random wildlife as you go. You make your way forward. And about half an hour goes by. Is there anything that anybody's doing as you travel?
Trancing.
Resting.
Trancing. You're resting. Each of you is about halfway there. When Valis, you are aware of a little shadow that by the window.
Divine sense.
Divine
It's
sense.
the bird again. He's like, I can't believe this shit.
What is the range on divine sense?
60. Wait. I
Ask
shouldn't
Tina, I
just say
use it all the
things.
time.
Let's see.
pretty
Where is
decent.
it? 60 feet.
60 feet. So you cast 60 feet and you absolutely ping in the shadows of one of these trees, a humanoid shape. A
Same
shadow.
one?
No, this is just a shadow, no face, no features, looming out of the dark, no legs, just an extension from the darkness, like many of the ones you fought. And you pass it at a pretty good clip with the speed that Minka's horses now travel. You just watch it disappear, and 60 feet away, it just kind of blinks out of your sight. They're in these woods. And how long does Divine Sense last?
Like, it's just instantly, I think.
So you would get the sense
Oh.
that
6 seconds until the end of
Yeah.
My
until
next
the end of
turn.
My next turn.
yeah. So you get the sense from that here and there are shadows in this forest. And if you were to stop for any long period of time, they'll converge on your location.
I'll relay that to the group.
Okay. And then right into the window, the bird flies. And there is a loud ting, 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 as something much larger than the metal piece that you had given it kind of clangs off the cart and falls to the
Shiny
ground.
for sure.
On the ground, there is a kind of flaps as this creature rights itself to its feet.
It's
You can
inside
see-
the cabin with us?
No. It's on the outside. It hit the window and bounced off, and there are feathers everywhere.
Okay.
You can see there's like a little piece of metal on the ground. It like kind of makes itself right. You guys are already like 40 feet.
Billy's
down.
like startled awake. It's like dagger in head. Where is it?
So you lose the benefits of your short rest so far, but you start awake. And you can see for just a moment as this bird flies into the window and then bounces off.
Ha!
Did I get a glimpse of what it was holding?
Make a perception check.
Wait.
Damn, if Ori
The range of
wasn't
healing word is 60
trancing.
feet, so I will stick my head out the window and watching it bounce off and go,
Oh,
oh! And cast
well,
healing
check.
word on it.
So as you're about to look out, Minka's hand just stiff arms you in the face, and Minka pushes your head into the seat to reach out the window over you and healing word at this bird. And the bird, you see the feathers like kind of regrow, the plumage billows, and you see it looks at you and then picks this piece of metal up in its beak and kind of flies, pursues the cart. Yeah.
I like to hold a hand out the window now. Like, open the window, hold a hand out
Okay.
with another coin.
Throw this one out with another coin, and this bird, now healed from Minka's magic, flies and
Alice is not great with money.
and it just slams into your arm. corvids, if you've ever seen one land in slow motion, it's not the most elegant bird. It's like 5 out of 10. And so it kind of hits your arm pretty heavily. The talons kind of scrape across the metal, and it barely holds on. But you can see in its beak no longer the gold piece that you had given it. You can see
Is it a sword?
it is holding a claymore, a full hand and a half sword. It must weigh at least 80 pounds, but this corvid is fucking cheap.
No, it's definitely.
And he's like, "Yeah, my brother told me you gave him some gold, so I brought you this. Hope you fucking like it."
Oh, corvids. What about
But this corvid
corvids?
holds this piece of metal. You can see it is a plate about this big. It is curved slightly inwards. It looks almost like a elongated scale from like scale armor. There is nothing that would attach it to other things, but what really catches your attention is beautiful in the center of it. Perfectly, there is no like little shavings that would usually arrive from like a carving or an etching. Beautiful celestial glyphs that have been somehow impressed into this almost silvery metal. The corvid kind of stands on your arm, kind of looks around, and then just drops it right into the middle of the cart. And it clang, clang, clang. And it pecks the little gold piece,
I let go.
grabs it, and then out the window.
It's a curse.
Ooh, pick out the plate.
You pick it up. As you touch this, Minka, it sheds
Roll
light
every
dimly.
save.
And as you hold it in your hand, it radiates light, and it's similar to the light that you radiate when you take on a celestial form. And though it's dim, you can see the light itself is coming from the celestial rune in the center. And there's something to this, Minka, that as you touch it, you can feel your skin just prickles up ever so slightly. You can feel some kind of almost like a magnetism to this, and you're reminded of that feeling that you knew Northwest was in this direction. And for you, Cheshire, as you watch all this happen, and the crow puts this thing down, and it kind of flies away, you can see in its wake there is a thin silver string attached to this plate that travels off into the north.
North, not northwest.
Northwest.
This plate makes my hands tingle.
I
Like
told
good-
you it's cursed.
Like good tingle or bad tingle? Oh.
Why are you asking me?
Like, it's neither. But it's north.
The plate is north?
Make his hands where the plate goes.
When Minka relinquishes the plate, the glow, gone.
Gone?
Yep.
So when I hold it, it doesn't glow.
Correct.
It is yours. You know when you have like a really a hot pepper, and sometimes you touch the oil and like your hands feel weird?
And then you touch your face and then it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Billy knows something about curses. Is this cursed?
Make an arcana check.
I don't
Look at
think
the
it's
sign.
cursed. I think it likes you.
Minka takes it back from Valis, and it begins to again
It's hers.
glow.
15.
And with the 15, you know a thing or two about curses because you've seen a thing or two about curses.
I've done a
And,
curse. Or 2. Or 7.
This is not a curse. Make a flat intelligence check, Billy.
Goodbye.
Oh, it's cursed.
Cursed as
Not in the
fuck.
way you expect.
So
You've heard of a holiday called Yule.
oh shit.
And in that holiday, all kinds of bangles and ornaments are hung from trees, and perhaps this is one. It is certainly festive and bright, but not cursed.
That's a tree decoration. It's weird.
It glows when you hold it, though. So
It's like
shiny.
pretty heavy. It has celestial on it, but perhaps a tree
Can I,
decoration.
take a
That's
moment.
really
and-
I mean, I know I'm driving, but if I'm like looking over my shoulder, can I see that there's like writing on it?
So you look over your shoulder, suddenly headlights. You look over your shoulder and you see this plate that Minka is holding, and you hear Billy say, "It's for trees." But as you look at it, you have Eyes of the Runekeeper active at all times, right?
Yeah, it's just passive.
You can see these celestial circles and interlocking rings and little bits of almost dots that kind of form planets around these things. They reshape and form themselves, and they break, and they become the letters of common. And they read Vigilant.
It says vigilant in celestial. That mean anything?
It means vigilant.
In Celestial.
Oh, vigilant means to, be.
I meant doesn't mean anything to you
I'm
guys.
just finding what vigilant means.
Usually with noble intent.
Billy's just
Wait,
like,
the only one who
no,
has to
I
make
said
no
I didn't
sense
like
to is
him, but I
Minka, 'cause
really
it's
don't
hers.
like him.
Minka, take a moment and investigate it. Like,
Trying
whatever.
To come up with a different verb for what
I-
we would
Yeah.
normally say, cuddle.
I hold the
See if
plate
you
and
can
close
figure out what
my
he
eyes,
does.
and then I just kind of like
Snuggle.
Humana.
and try to see if I can sense anything from it.
Okay, you hold it. You really focus and you try to sense something from it, and you sense that it's glowing slightly. But aside from that, there's no images that come to you. There's no unbidden memories.
I mean, it might just be. Wait, what was the name of the orders? The
Can I take a look at it while still trancing?
Prince.
No.
Prince orders. There were 2 of them. Here's some. Just told them. One of them started with a V.
Orders? Oh,
The prince's orders.
what do you mean by orders? You mean the tenets
Yes.
of light and temperance?
Oh, it was light and temperance, not vigilance. Okay. I don't know if it was related to that.
Hey, why don't you just do the thing you would do with any like magic item? Just, study it for like an hour.
Study, that's the word.
No, cuddle.
While there's magic coming off this doesn't feel like a magical item in that way.
No.
I would say, Minka, as you think about this, make a flat intelligence check.
Oh, my best stat.
Make a power roll.
Oh, I think that's flat. I never it's flat. No, it's a +1. 16.
This doesn't seem to be an entire item. This seems to be a piece of something.
This is missing its friends. I don't know. It's like part of something.
A set,
I
a dining set.
Go back to trance.
I don't
Can
think I
you-
want to eat off of this.
Maybe like an amuse-bouche.
I could ask Javaris, can you make me do anything to help me make him talk faster? AKA guidance.
Guidance.
I'll cast Legend Lore
Okay,
with
go ahead and make
the
your check.
prayer beads, and I'll make a persuasion check
You will.
to...
Javaris, as you clue into your prayer beads, goes, "Ah, Valis, who is a friend? It has been some time since we've been able to talk."
Yes, did you see us at the Battle of the Bards?
I did not. I do not have eyes, but I,
I thought he sees
perceived
everything I
you.
see.
I perceived you, Valis, yes. You were fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Storytelling is something of an art, you know. Many people don't understand pacing. That is the problem. Have I told you about pacing before, Valis? To begin, I must really begin at the beginning of everything.
Could you show us an example of fast pacing with my 22 persuasion check?
Very good.
What
very
would
good.
you like to know, Valis?
Tell us about this plate that Minka is holding. It seems to be missing its friends, maybe part of a larger whole.
This is something I haven't seen in a very long time, Valis. Hundreds of years, thousands of years since anyone has seen one of these. This is a beacon tenant plate. It is part of armor that was worn by divine court healers a long time ago.
It's Minka's.
Each one of these plates speaks to an important accomplishment or deed from that member, and it adds new abilities to their arsenal.
It's because you're malicious.
How does one
What just says malicious?
get a set of armor? Are they usually like gifts them from the Divine Court, or are they found?
The crafting of such items was lost when the Star Elves traveled far and abroad. But the pieces that remain are earned and given by the leader of the Divine Court. I believe they have a number that they can hand out. Though there has not been need in some time, I believe. There are only 8 members left, after all.
Who were the 8 members?
Well, you are going beyond the scope of our normal conversation. But I have met many of them.
I think there might only be 4 now. One of which is one of the members. Well, his name. Let me just. Kyberius.
Kyberius Etherglass, yes.
Etherglass.
A leader, a star elf, in fact. One of the oldest that is known.
It's your grandpa.
I believe Kyberius Etherglass was one of the original star elves. I think they might be the only one left.
Well then.
The others, family members of Kyberius, Jakarthus, and Britharii. There is, of course, an Arcadian Voidwander and their friend, Falcatrice Heavenlight. A fine individual who really knew how to cook bread. You would like them, Valis, who is a friend. Have you ever eaten celestial bread?
Is that different than bread that just tastes really good?
It is almost like a cloud, Valis. You will like it. There is other members, of course, but the 8th one, I believe, was banished from the Divine Court.
What was his name? Or her name? Or their name?
Their name, Euthelius. They were a bit more extreme than the others.
That's always a great descriptor to put on someone who's banished.
And you said you met them before?
I did. A long time ago.
When you were in human? Were you a human?
Often.
Did you meet them when you were a human? In what capacity did you meet them?
I was a human, yes. In my former capacity in the Orsenlock.
Oh. Thank you, Javaris.
Of course. Is there nothing further you wish to know?
So, this plate, back to the plate. The plate is adorned on the armor to recognize the bearer of their feats and to gain them additional abilities to their armor. Is that
yes. Right? Each tenant of the Divine Court has different sets of armor that provide different abilities. I only know of one complete set that still exists. Falcatrice was the one who had it. It's called Dusk's Cascade.
Is Falcatrice one of the Divine Court members?
Yes, Falcatrice Heavenlight. They are the minder of the shard.
Do they go by a different name? Perhaps Narcadia?
Narcadian was the other individual who minds the shard. They also tend to the various, well, if there's only 4 left, I imagine they're not in charge of the fighters necessarily, but they were a trainer for a long time.
Okay, I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Be mindful that in the presence of Imiante's shard, plant life does not grow as it normally might.
Is that what this plate is called? Or is that a name that you just said? I'm not sure.
Imiante's shard is the shard of fallen star that floats above the Divine Court Tower. That is what they guard more than anything else, Valis. With the exception of the dome, the shard is part of their purpose.
Why do they guard the shard?
They
Turns out I do have
believe,
no question.
they believe that those who have wandered beyond the astral eclipse can only return so long as the shard remains.
The shard is a beacon to those who wander beyond the eclipse to come back.
A beacon and an anchor.
I like have a question, but I don't like want to ask it. Like, but I'm thinking about how like the shard is a beacon anchor to those beyond the astral eclipse for them to return, and I can think of one lady who is beyond the astral eclipse and wants to return.
Sure.
What do I? I don't want to ask that.
Make an insight check. If you think about these two facts, which seem perhaps related,
16.
and perhaps they are.
Okay. So I guess
I think Alana just figured something out.
No, I just remember something. Like one of the areas without starlight, with starlight. Is that nearby?
Not super nearby. The
Nearer than it has been,
Yeah.
Jacaranda's Grove.
Yeah.
That small clearing that was cleared out as sort of really the whim of an incredibly powerful treant. Jacaranda casting Druid's Grove over the course of close to a century. But yeah, not too far from there.
Okay. All right. I don't have any questions until you say something that makes me think of more questions.
Let me tell you about the beginning again, Valis. In the beginning.
Oh, we're losing
He begins to tell you about the first stage again.
This might be the
His eyes glaze over.
Oh, he's gone.
Do you think he's learning about the first stage again?
I will relay that to the group once I am done talking to Javaris. So all of that.
So Valis comes out and just goes, and just expositions all over the cart. It's on the walls, it's on the ceiling.
Has Billy completed a short rest during the hours-long explanation of the first stage?
Like very quickly into the explanation, yeah, you can. No problem.
So that's what that is.
Did that crow rip this off of someone else's armor?
I don't think so. I think the crow probably found it.
Scattered. Okay.
Hey, Cheshire? When you have something really cool to say, can you, like, use a complete sentence? Or say more? What do you mean scattered?
I don't know. It's gone.
So, Jafar said there were 8?
He said that there were 8 members of the Divine Court, but that is what he remembers, right? That's like
Javaris is a little bit like out of step with time, and so that like Javaris remembers there being 8. You were told by Hearsome there was 4.
he knows even more than there is now.
perhaps maybe still 5 if the one that is banished is still out there, but he's not with the court anymore. Because that happens when you get banished.
Maybe that's where the blade came from.
The what?
The blade.
Did you relay that you saw a string on the plate? You did not, right?
Not directly, no.
Okay.
At about this point, as you're riding, the trees have been getting a little sparser, the spruces and the birches have been getting a little bit further grown apart, and you get to a point where you can suddenly see much further. The tree line truly cleared. You can see in the distance, standing amongst the more stony and hilly terrain that you've seen before, back set against the horizon and the astral eclipse that glows darkly in the sky, like the legs of a spider or the ends of ribs, towering snarls of rock that snake into the sky before curling over themselves in the far, far distance. To the left, which is your west, you can see the terrain shifts to become much more desolate, dotted with gray broken rocks that mark the familiar terrain of the Fields of Folly, though farther east than you've ever been. Off and to your right, you can see the curved edge of the forest travels and curves out of sight across a wide plains, and you know that traveling just a few more hours will bring the Divine Court into sight. But at this moment, you know that it's probably getting close to like 6 o'clock. You could make a camp here on the tree line and have a little bit more cover, or you could really ride hard. And with Minka's help, we'll almost certainly make it right around nightfall, but it will be close.
We were told not to be out after dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we probably don't want to make camp.
Do not travel after dark.
We can get there by nightfall. That's
It'll be close.
It'll be close, but it's fun. It'll be fun.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay.
For
Close
the
to
third
place
time,
where their
you-
tents
yeah,
are
the
on
horses
light.
are like, does she know we can't go any faster? God. And they're just kind
It's
of
just fun, okay? Yeah.
So how many hours are left in between where we are and where we're going?
You don't necessarily know.
Okay.
Based on what Hearsome said, you should get there in the next 3 or 4 hours. Night is coming in the next 3 hours. And so if it's on the shorter end, you'll get there right as night falls. If it's on the longer end, you'll be riding through the dark for an hour.
We'll
Yeah.
just have Minka
Or
stand on top
how
of the
far
carriage
into
and
the
glow.
wood?
You're going to be done in your trance in about 1 hour,
Or a
so
little
pretty
angel on
early.
top of our tree.
I will. The only reason I ask is that I will keep recasting Longstrider.
Okay.
At one of the points that we stop.
Oh, we're not stopping. We should not stop.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're casting Longstrider, you're either gonna have to hang out the window or we're gonna have to stop.
Or I'll have to switch places with Alina.
It's true. You could do an acrobatic mid-ride swap.
If we stop, we'll probably get it.
within
The
hour,
shadows
I'll
will
be
probably.
done trance and
If we stop, the shadows will probably converge on
Yeah,
us.
but
Can
I
Ori
need to
cast Longstrider?
I need to
No, I can
recast it
swap
every
more
hour.
easily,
Every hour
probably.
because it only lasts an hour.
Are you riding?
So I'm not stopping.
All right. Alina keeps the cart going. You break the tree line and you begin to travel over these open plains.
Cheshire, is there anything you can do to help the horses go faster?
No.
Okay.
I can make them go slower. I
Hmm,
can
I
stop
don't think that'll
them
help.
all together.
You could banish them.
I
don't
can
do any of
banish
those
them.
things.
I don't think that would help either, but it's good to know that you could do that.
I can
speak
make them really
if I-
quiet.
Can you levitate Minka?
I can levitate Minka. I
Yeah.
can fly.
Why
We
did you just
can-
do that?
We can attach a rope to Minka.
I can't fly as fast as the cart can move.
We
Also
can
true.
attach a rope to Minka though, and we
What?
could, so that she doesn't have to acrobatically go out.
That's true.
And then if she falls behind, she just has to pull on the
Oh
rope.
my god.
Use Minka like a balloon and just pass her to the front.
Are we fishing for shadows using
I'm-
Minka as bait?
Listen, I'm fine being a Minka balloon until Ori's ready. I hate
More like a
that
kite.
so much.
It's more like a kite.
I don't know.
It's a balloon because I don't know if Minka is aerodynamic enough to catch flight.
I got a lot of.
You got a lot of fluff.
I
You
got
probably
off.
could.
Yeah.
Can she cast Longstrider if she's just sitting on the front?
You know what?
If she's sitting on the front, yes, but she's in the
Don't
cart.
have
Okay.
ball, and Chester's gonna cast fly.
Okay. And suddenly, it's like the Studio Ghibli, like all the like the gauzy garments fluff up, and you feel as if you can fly.
Yay. So I'm just gonna open the door. I'll like keep a hand on the cart. So just in case I'm flying slower than the cart is
Yeah.
moving.
You're used to that, and so you kind of one hand on the boat. You just leave your hand trailing your fingertips along the wood. You go over the top, and you're easily able to touch these horses, and you can cast Longstrider
Yeah.
again.
I will continue to do so until we get there.
So you continue to push on and into the area as darkness begins to threaten. You can't help but glance back at the warmth and cover of the forest compared to the openness of this field, which, aside from a few thin birches here and there, none more than 15 or feet so tall, is just flat and open, with few mounds of earth that are larger than boulders, the only things to really break up the sight lines. The pros of that, you can see wide around you. Nothing is sneaking up on you here. The cons, anything that is anywhere in this area can see you.
Just to check to make sure, the coach moves twice as fast, right? That's a property of it, or something like it cuts the travel
You're
time in
moving at
half.
30 miles an hour, which is fast for a coach.
Damn.
I just can't remember what
It's
that
like-
means.
I have
Like,
a
what's the
stat
stat block for the coach? I just want to just double check to make sure that we accounted for that.
Are the horses attached to the cart?
They are, yes.
Do you count it then as one object?
Is the cart
No,
a creature?
because these are creatures. They're not objects.
Mhm.
The card is an object.
Okay.
I don't have the stats of the card. I just have written down that it exists.
I think it was.
I'll find it.
It.
I
Moves.
can help us go faster. Maybe.
Oh, she's
in
giggling.
in a Cheshire flavored manner.
No. Billy sees like Cheshire just sit there and start like smiling the Grinch smile, and it's just like, no, please no,
I can't help us go faster.
please no.
Oh, what?
What do you mean no? Going faster is good.
It's Cheshire.
In what context? What mannerism?
Billy has been victim to slow, hallucinatory terrain. Billy has trauma.
Do I get the sense that Dimension Door would work on the carriage?
No!
I don't.
I don't like that.
You teleport yourself from your current location. You can bring along objects as long as their weight doesn't exceed what you can carry. You cannot carry the card, unfortunately.
But the card is
Can't do
carrying
like
me.
that.
We are one entity.
I love the thought process, but
We
unfortunately,
cast levitate
it is
card.
like the laws of the weave, not the laws of Cheshire's thinking, that determine this. Wouldn't work, I don't think. Let me rephrase
Okay.
that. Won't work.
But it's fun to think about.
Yeah.
So is Minka just hanging off the edge of the cart right now?
How long does play last?
An hour.
So I'll go out, encourage the horses, and while I'm casting, I'm also going to be like, "You're doing such a good job," and like give them like little pats, and then go back inside because until it's time to swap out with Ori.
Easy enough, no problem. An hour passes by. It's getting steadily darker. Ori, you can mark off a long rest.
Hey!
When you wake up, you feel stronger than ever.
When
For
he
you,
comes
Billy,
out of the trench, he's
you
like,
can mark off a short rest. And all of you press on and into the dark. Here, as you continue to travel, you reach the 3-hour mark where it truly gets dark, and you're having some trouble, for many of you, seeing much beyond 60 feet, except for you, Alina. You can see a little further than that. That's why you're in charge of the cart.
Yeah.
You still have just barely, at the 3-hour mark, begun to see a little mark in the distance that you imagine is this tower. You could see from here a glowing element of white light that is up near the top, and it still seems about an hour away. It is on the longer end of that spectrum. And were it not for you, Minka, you wouldn't be reaching this place at all. But you do have about an hour to travel through the dark.
Would it be helpful if, Minka, could you cast that spell, that daylight spell, to shed light to perhaps keep the shadows at bay?
If I had it, I would. All I can do is I could cast Find the Path to show us the shortest distance, but I believe our eyesight will already show us the shortest distance.
Seems like a pretty straight shot from here.
It's right over there.
And sure enough, now, like 10 minutes has gone by, you can see properly there is this glowing, rotating, large, what looks almost like a shard broken from a mirror in the light that is just like rotating above what is like a dark tower, though as you get closer, it is the dark that makes the tower look dark. Yes.
Sorry. I did prepare a wind walk. 10 willing creatures. I don't think I could explain it to the horses though.
We probably wouldn't want to leave the coach
I
behind,
was
though.
gonna be able to though.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
can't
I
they
think
just
you,
pull it real fast?
I think you do have some like tool sets to perhaps do that. Although at that point, why have the horses at all? Why not just windwalk as a group? But yeah, you probably with Valis could probably windwalk with the horses. The
But that
cart
would be
wouldn't
the cart.
windwalk.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't like pull it real fast.
No, but you could put the cart back in the ring and then just
No,
go with
I
the horses.
can't because I can only do that once a day.
Unfortunately.
I was.
So you pushing on through the dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will remain ever vigilant.
Yeah.
You ride on. Who is outside keeping watch?
I am.
Alina and Ori, correct?
No, Minka's out there.
Oh,
now.
Minka
Yeah.
and Ori. Minka and Ori, please, both of you make perception.
Are you
checks.
inside?
Yeah, but I mean, if it's acceptable, I'll be looking out the sides, looking for stuff.
24.
Okay.
27.
Nice.
With the 27, you can see, with the 24, first of all, you look around and into the dark, and here and there, as you are traveling, and you guys are booking it, you guys are going real fast. With Longstrider active, you are hauling through the countryside, and it's a good thing, because here and there, the shadows separate from the trees and begin to close towards you. They are following. You can see as you look back behind you, there are 6 or 7 shadows that are just slowly fading into the distance as they can't keep up. And Minka, with the 27, you see all that, but you look out and to the left, there's 3 or 4. To the right, there's 3 or 4. And you are going quick enough now that is not a problem. But with the 27, you turn and you look ahead, and you see no fewer than a dozen shadows that just kind of form this line across the road. It would be hard to pass them. And then, as you get even closer, there is another line behind them.
Uh-oh.
There are dozens of shadows here, many humanoid shape, but here and there, you see mastiff shapes, and then off in the distance, reaching out 6 feet, 8 feet, 12 feet, 16 feet tall. You've seen giants before, but you have not seen one that is this incorporeal. And then just gone.
We have a problem.
And
We have
because
so
it is
many problems.
about to be 10 o'clock, would a visual... Well, we'll wait.
What?
Because I have to bring this one out and then bring the next one
Yeah,
in.
fair enough.
We'll wait until next week. Or maybe I'll switch this out and you guys can see it right before we wrap up. But this is where we're going to end for the evening. Thank you for joining us for this session of Courts of Everest. We'll be back next week. We'll be in rose-themed attire for this nice rose-themed fight. If you can't wait that long, join us on Sunday at noon for Fallout, Black Hearts of Texas. We have so many games now. I have to keep all the names track. It is going to be this group traveling through the Texas hellscape and making their way into Austin to find Vault 40 after receiving a few rewards from the town of Sonora. You can join us at noon for that, but please, whatever you do, stay safe. It is wild out there. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.